I found myself helping other lower batch students to do what I basically did. This is why we decided to form this group because we see our fellow countrymen struggling with their applications. They might struggle financially, or they cannot find the proper resource to fulfill their Canadian dream. And as you all know, studying in Canada is very expensive. Other people ended up being scammed. Other people are not successful with work permit.
Very good.
Two. Okay, so
how about those people who are under open work permit, like me?
One.
One.
Two. Okay.
Two. Okay, perfect.
Okay, what else?
So let's start the formal presentation. Let me just again introduce what is Sun-Cor. I know Brother Edison already mentioned it's a collaboration of two individuals, which is Kuya Michael Corrales and me, Nick Sun, which is called Sun-Cor Incorporated. So in partnership, by the way, I am an international education consultant. I help you guys. I help students find a good school and find a perfect program for them, especially in their pathway to become a permanent resident. While Kuya Mick is a licensed immigration consultant, so being mixed or being combined all together, we can work through the PR path easily. And our business itself, we are the product of our own business because ourselves did the exact pathway, how to become permanent resident using the study path. Okay, Sun-Cor Limited was founded on June 2018. But we started way beyond that. When we came here, my wife and Kuya Mick, when we were back home in the Philippines, they already chatted or they already interacted before and how to help. And Kuya Mick is one of the person, our go-to person when we ask question regarding immigration. Back then, you were not yet an immigration consultant.
I didn't want to be a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, to be honest. But with so many people needing help, and I felt that it was my responsibility to help people because of out of advocacy, out of for the sake of our countrymen. I see myself in them too. So that's how we ended up.
Yep. I said now it's owned and managed by former students, which is us, and our advantage compared to other agencies back home. First is we ourselves experienced the process of being permanent resident in less than 2 years' time. Same with Kuya Mick, and the difference between us and the other agencies back home is we encourage aspirant applicants to try to apply it by themselves without an agency. Because we ourselves, we did not use an agency when we apply for Canada visa, for student visa. It will save you a lot of money. How much you pay? Around 80 to 100,000 pesos.
Maybe more.
For a consultation fee or for a processing fee. But you can save that because on the immigration website, it doesn't state that you need to have a lawyer, a consultant, or an agent to process your visa. It was designed to really just straightforward application.
Also, it doesn't influence the result of your application if you hired, let's say, you hired a lawyer or you hired a consultant like me. You would all still be subjected to all the qualifications and the regulations applying to your application. Mm-hmm. So yung iba po kasi, I hope it's okay if I speak in Filipino for some. So yung iba po kasi they think that once you hire a consultant, they could, the Filipino way, somebody inside, they could influence the application, they could fix the problem, but that's not the case in Canada.
Yeah, there's no under the table in the Canadian immigration.
So the moment somebody tells you they could do it,
before you even pay an immigration consultant, you can check as well and verify if that immigration consultant is really an immigration consultant. You can go to the immigration consultant
there's
website.
There's a public registry for the ICCRC website. This is where you could see, let's say, if you want to verify my credentials, you could just go to the website, type my name,
Yes.
and then my status shows up there.
Yeah, it shows when you.
It shows your status if you're in good standing, you're suspended, or
Yes.
you have a pending case. So that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, because like I said, we feel the need of our kababayans back home that being scammed and being overcharged, being we know how where the money came from. We sell. I mean, some of the people, some of our kababayans all sold their houses, sold some properties, borrowed some monies just to come here. But you can save money in eliminating that consultation or an immigration what do you call this one, getting a consultant by doing it by yourself, DIY. Okay, like I said, we are an immigration agency, but we don't force everyone to get our services. We teach you guys how to do it, but just in case if you can't do the DIY, and that's the time we jumped in. That's our goal, is to help first, and then if things is sometimes if we teach people, sometimes people, oh, I don't have time, I just want to pay. Okay, and that's the time we jumped in. But we educate first before we jumped in. Again, these are our services from the Canadian Corrales Immigration Consulting Services Inc. So we process all types of visas, from student, tourist, parent sponsorship, PGWP, what else? Even LMIA processing. So you can visit our website as well as Sun-Cor.com, or you can also visit Kuya Mix's website.
It's a bit long. It started as a joke. Study, work, live, migrate, Canada.com. So basically, we do everything from as simple as tourist visa to something as complicated as avoiding deportation.
Yeah, Kuya Mix already
that
helped a
kind of
lot.
sums it up. Yeah. Okay, so now let's maybe go to the discussion points.
Yes. So today, just to give you, guide on what we're gonna do today. First is a brief introduction. So we did that already. Second part will be do's and don'ts while you're a student. And second will be preparations, graduation, and first skill job. And the third topic will be preparations for permanent residency. Okay. By the way, if you have any questions, you can.
We will have a Q&A towards the end. So it's, I don't know how we're going to conduct that later. But just pay attention. So you might know stuff, maybe you don't know it yet, you'll find out. And then if you need some clarification, then we could have that discussion later.
Actually, we have a game today, not really a game, but a prize. So just listen what we're going to be discussing, and we're going to ask question later on. And just one question, and who will answer it correctly, will win a 1 hour consultation, one-on-one.
For free.
For free, no charge at all.
So that's, yep. Usually people pay over $100 for that. So we will have that game today. One lucky attendee will be getting an hour consultation for free. Okay, so maybe this is
yes.
Me. So study pathway. Is it clear to everybody why you studied? Why did you need to study, or did somebody just told you study? Raise of hands who knows why you studied instead of doing something else. Okay, so nobody raised their hand.
Me, I don't want to study. That's why my wife studied.
Okay, so maybe from my personal experience as well. Why did I study? Number one, when I applied for a study permit, I was already in my 30s. So it was, and this was also the start of the express entry system. It's a points-based system, and unfortunately, for my age, the scores weren't high enough. And we'll also have a discussion later how to improve your CRS scores. So I was researching how we could go here and eventually become a permanent resident. Can I find an employer? It's pretty hard when you're in the Philippines, convincing a Canadian company to hire you. Can I get married? Nope, because I already have a child. and I was married already, so that's not an option. Um, what else? Can I go as a refugee? No, because there is no threat to my life. Political asylum? No. So what are my other options? TNT? Definitely no. That is something not tolerated here. So study pathway was the last option for me. Unfortunately, it is expensive, but it is also one of the fastest ways. So maybe now we could show the slides on how you become a permanent resident after studying. So the natural progression for students is you study for 2 years, you get a 3-year postgraduate work permit like the 2 or 3 individuals we have here. And then once you hit your 1,560 hours and 52 weeks, those two has to happen, of working in a skilled job, minimum of NOCB, you qualify for the Canadian Experience class. So that's one of the pathways. The next is the federal skilled worker. Believe it or not, some of our students, once they graduate, they just need that extra 15 points to qualify for permanent residency. During my time, I had a Russian classmate. So during this time, I already have my invitation to apply because my wife qualified for Canadian Experience class. But my classmate also had an invitation to apply, and I was like, so how did you do it? Because I know your wife's not working. Then he said, once we finished, I got the extra 15 points, and this is what I was just waiting for. So that's how he did it. It could be something applicable to our younger students here. I see a lot of young and new students. This might be something applicable to you as well. The next one is provincial nomination. We are in Ontario, so this is the OINP, Ontario Immigration Nomination Program. Usually, people who look after these programs are those around 35 and above. The reason being is these are the people who might have a lower score in the comprehensive ranking system, so they need an extra 600 points to boost their scores. Or there are provincial nominations in Ontario where applicants get nominated directly. A few weeks ago, somebody who is just a fishmonger, sa Tagalog, taga kaliskis tsaka linis ng isda, got nominated under the provincial nomination. And ang kanyang, the validity of her postgraduate work permit will actually end this December. So that was a blessing for her. Spousal sponsorship, for those who are single, I'm not saying use this. Don't take express entry literally. Don't take the word express and express entry seriously. But it also happens. The reality is some people starting a new life, they met somebody here, they fell in love. It's something that could happen. Marry, I always tell people, marry for the right reasons. Don't use it as an option just because it's convenient.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we also have people who are married here. So we also have the open work permit pathway. This is for the spouses of international students. So it's very similar to the pathway of international students. The only difference is they didn't study. They are actually gaining their Canadian experience as this other spouse is studying. This is how me and Kuya Nikki were able to get our permanent residency. Our spouses, well, in my case, my wife, and then Kuya Nikki is the open work permit holder. So they were working while me and Kuya Nikki's wife was studying. So that's also a possibility. People didn't knew before that this was possible.
Yeah, it's like you're hitting two birds in one stone.
So if you have a partner, it's actually good because you could actually have two chances. So
Yes.
there's two people actually that could qualify for express entry. The next one is provincial nomination. There's also programs in Ontario provincial nomination. For example, there's the Ontario Job Offer Foreign Worker Stream, Ontario International Student Job Offer Stream, Ontario In-Demand Job Offer Stream, the Master Stream for those taking a Master's, um, Federal Skilled Trades Stream. So there are many provincial nomination programs also available for open work permit holders. So now we are going to the do's and don'ts of so we noticed there are a lot of current students now. So sometimes we thought when we get here, we could do everything the Filipino way. Unfortunately, we are in a different environment and the way things are might not be applicable just like in the Philippines. So I asked earlier if people know why they decided to study. I think I didn't see too much hands, if any. So that's why one of the do's that we always tell people is already start planning for your permanent residency once you get here.
Yep.
Other people, unfortunately, they thought once you graduate, the PR status would just be mailed to you.
No.
That's the unfortunate reality. We have people approaching us and asking, Kuya Mick, graduate na ako last year. Bakit wala pa yung PR card ko? And then I ask, what pathway did you take? And then they said, sabi ng agent namin, pag graduate, I'll be a PR already. So it sounds funny, but a lot of Filipinos are falling victim or
Being misled.
being misled or they do not know the process. So this is something, once you land here, plan for your PR. Are you aiming for Canadian Experience class or do you just need the extra points for federal skilled worker? We cannot say you land here and you're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Some of my classmates, that's actually their goal before when I ask them. So plan your PR pathway ahead and do your preparation early. You have 2 years, you're studying 2 years, you're working for 3, so you have a total of 5 years to transition from a student to a permanent resident. So planning early is something that is very essential because you don't want to be pressed for time and then towards the end, kapit patalim. This is something we want to avoid. I think it's not showing on the slides, the do's and
Yeah,
don'ts.
just to add, this is just my personal experience. Before we came to Canada, it took us a year and a half of research. We've been through a lot of agencies back home, from Ortigas, Makati, to Pasay, to Quezon City, and paid a lot of, what do you call this one? Consultation fees, which is around 3,000 pesos. But, they did not offer us the student path. They told us that, hey, your CRS point is too low. Okay, me and my wife are both professionals already. We have at least 8 to 10 years work experience that time. But still, they said our CRS point is too low. But, based on our research, we found out about study pathways. So what Kuya Mikmik said is, once you don't plan for your student path only. Once you apply for the study pathway, you need to also consider is how to become a permanent resident. That's why the first do's that we do is start planning for your PR pathway from option A to option Z. So that once you arrive in Canada, you know what to do. First day pa lang, you know what to do, how to become a permanent resident, so that you will know which pathway that applies to your profile. Okay, profile A is not applicable to everyone, but how about profile B or pathway B, pathway C? Like I said, you need to identify which pathway applies to you as a student or as with an open work permit. And that's what we did in our stuff. We become permanent resident, not because of the student, but because of the open work permit partners.
Okay, let's rush through the next
Second,
ones.
we have the be in your prime, do good in school. So take advantage of this time that you are studying. It's a privilege that you're studying here in Canada. And like I said, do well in school because it will also get back to you once you finish your studies. First, you can get a good job if you have a high grades.
So classic example, once we graduated, the banks here, for example, when you apply for an IT job, sometimes they ask for your transcript. So they gauge your skill set and also they gauge your grades. Because in reality, when you're an international student, fresh off graduation, there's nothing much in your resume that is Canadian. So let's say you're going for TD Bank and then you're saying, oh, I want to be a mobile developer, software developer. Do you have Canadian experience? You will say no, but I have experience in the Philippines. Um, for starters, the experience in the Philippines in the beginning of your career may or may not help you because sometimes you might end up with a different career. For example, in my case, I was an economics graduate and then I'm working in IT. So it's a totally different field for me. So what helped was the transcript. They would require you to submit your grades, so at least they could see that you were doing good in school and you are most likely capable of what you are saying you are. So that's why we say always do good in school. Next one is save money. Believe it or not, somebody was given a credit card and he didn't know he had to pay it back. So he thought it was free money. It's funny, but it really happens. Saving money is also
One way of building your credit score,
yes.
as well as getting a credit card here in Canada. Um,
So what is a credit score? Everybody knows what a credit score is? Raise your hand if yes.
it's not a CRS score, okay?
It's not a CRS score, yes. Okay, so we don't see people raising their hand much. Credit score, so in the Philippines, we don't usually do loans too much. Here, credit score is something very important. This is not towards your immigration, but this is after you become a permanent resident. Or maybe when you need a car after you graduate and part of your job is to, let's say, if you're a consultant or you're an analyst and then you go to different locations, you need a car. If you don't have a good credit score, you have to buy your vehicle in cash. And that's a very expensive process. So the credit score is something very important. Okay, next one.
Yeah.
Build a strong relationship. I think, okay, build a strong relationship with your professor. Some of you might hate your professors because they're giving you too much homework, quizzes, exams. But you'd be surprised how helpful your professors will be.
Yes.
I was very bad in school. I wasn't the best, but I was friends with my professors. So I was able to actually get.
Use them as their.
You could use your professors as your reference, especially for those who have zero job experience in Canada. References are being called talaga. If you get an interview, they really call your reference. So you can. It's very hard to put someone in the Philippines as your reference. You would come out more credible if, let's say, it's your professor as a reference. I actually was able to get job offers because of I have connections with my professors. Even now, I get emails from my professors if I want to work for Region of Peel, for example, or a big company there, a bank here. So it's with the job market here, you have to utilize networking. This one is very parallel sa Philippines yung may
Yes.
mga padrino, oh, tito ko si ganyan.
Because Philippines are very good with referrals.
Yes.
From, if there's a new job here, you want to refer a friend. If you found out that oh, the manager of this store is a Filipino, and they will always say, hey, can you have a job for us or something like that. And then, like, once you arrive in Canada.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kuya.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Happy Tuesday morning. Ayan, time check, it's
Nga
already
pala, no?
30
Tuesday na.
morning. Pasensya na kayo, medyo na late mga kuyas today. But yeah, we're here. We have a very special guest actually. Isa to sa mga kaibigan namin
Yes.
ni Kuya Mick. Ano naman to eh. Hindi siya naiiba sa atin kasi she is now a permanent resident as well. And she will be sharing her pathway. Yun.
Yes.
At saka, this is very interesting, bro, kasi she's also a nurse and she's gonna
Yep.
share how to be a health worker, transitioning to become a nurse also here in Canada. And also, shout out ko lang mga lahat ng viewers natin from all over the world, Philippines. Magandang gabi po. I would like to ask if you can share this live stream that we have so that marami pong makakaalam sa mga discussion namin for today, which is very, very informative po. Yun. So, ikaw na magpakilala, Kuya Mick.
So, ang special guest natin actually isa to sa mga huli kong nakita sa Ontario bago ako hinatid ni Kuya Nikki dito sa Alberta. If I recall it right, maybe she can correct me. Naging nurse siya bago yung PR nangyari.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible, mga kababayan. But let's wait for her confirmation. So
Okay.
without further ado, let's introduce si Miss May.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Ayan.
Kuya.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. At nasa US ka pa ba?
Hindi, kakabalik ko lang actually kanina.
Wow, ang
Hindi pa
bilis.
ako natutulog.
Ang bilis. Hello, good evening to everyone. Good evening, Kuya Nick and Kuya Mick. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story. Alam ko maraming international students ang magbe-benefit dito, especially yung mga aspiring Pinoy nurses from all over the world na gustong pumunta dito sa Canada. Not only the ones coming from Philippines, but also the ones in the Middle East, UK. Sometimes I get to talk to people coming from Australia, New Zealand that still want to come here. So yeah, just a little bit about myself. So nagsimula yung journey namin to come here to Canada back in 2018, actually 2017. That's the time when when we're planning to get married, me and my husband. As soon as we got married in 2018, I start the process of coming here as a student, a little bit of research, kasi nagbayad siya ng bonggang-bongga sa lawyer na hindi na gumastos siya ng sobrang daming pera actually para just to choose the school. Nakakaloka.
Wow.
11 years in the process yung ano niya. Ended up, walang nangyari. And then niloko pa rin kami kasi naghahanap sila ng just to look for a school. Nagbayad kami ng 6,000 reals, that's Saudi reals, which is sobrang easy kung talagang ikaw yung gagawa or with the help of Sun-Cor. Dahil nag-help naman sila para makakuha ng LOA. If we had that process before, I would have gotten, took advantage of that. If I knew Kuya Nick and Kuya Mick better during those days, sabihin ko na lang, Kuya, please.
Magkano ba yung 6,000 reals sa Canadian dollar?
Divided by 3 usually, so
2,000.
around $2,000 just to look for the school.
Oh my.
Just to look for the school, choose the program.
Yeah.
I waited for like
Wow.
a month and then sabi ko, bakit ang tagal? Kesyo pumunta daw sa Turkey, kesyo ganito, ang daming
Grabe pala.
excuses. Tapos I tried to research online and then nakita ko na yung group ng international Pinoy students.
International.
Yung group na ano nga ba yun?
Pinoy international students in Canada.
Yes, where I met one of my friends ngayon na sabi sa akin na if you want to become a nurse here in the future, if you want to become a nurse in Canada, if you're going through the student pathway, it's better to hit the two birds or three birds with one stone. Paano? Kasi most of the Pinoy international students coming here through student pathway, first sasabihan sila ng agency na, okay, you have to study. And then what will I study? They don't know, right? So even if they were nurses back home, merong mga nagtitake na as PSW, which is a downgrade of your profession, na kahit hindi ka naman mag-PSW is pwede naman. But then again, it's your decision. Kung tingin mo mas madali sa pathway na yon, dahil marami namang pathway to become PR here, that's also good. But if you want to benefit more and in the future, use that as a leverage para maging RN ka, to work as an RN here, then you have to really do your research. Hindi siya yung journey namin, hindi siya only one night dream. Maraming ups and downs. Pwede kong sabihin yung tawag dito, yung timeline ko from NNAS up until nakuha ko yung RP and RN license ko, which is mahaba-habang process. Yeah, so
May,
okay lang, kuya?
before you, narinig mo ako?
Yes.
Yeah. So ano lang, okay lang ba konting background kung before the study visa, saan ka nanggaling muna?
Oh, sure.
Para at least alam na, where you from the Philippines, ilang years ka sa abroad, tapos na-transit, why you come to Canada? Parang ganun, para ma-share din natin kasi marami tayong viewers from UAE at saka Saudi.
Yeah, okay. So, I graduated from BSN back in 2011. Naging RA, naging review assistant ako for a brief period of time. Hindi ako umabot sa top 10 ng board exam. Nandun ako sa 11.2, isang question yun. Or isa o dalawang question yung na-miss ko. But then, nag-reviewer ako sa review center for a brief period of time. And then, sabi ko, dahil parang gig-gig lang siya na magrarasyo ka lang, sabi ko, walang pera dito. So, ended up, kung mag-nurse ako nagkaroon ako ng experience sa Philippines, but then kung ipupurso ko maging nurse sa Philippines, that time, 8,000 a month lang ang sweldo ng RN sa Philippines. And
wow.
I'm the breadwinner. Maraming sakit ang tatay at nanay ko at kailangan kong suportahan yung lahat ng pangailangan nila. So, nag-work ako sa BPO for 3 years. And then, sabi ko, ganit paycheck after paycheck. Eventually, I work as a customer service with Elsevier, which is a publisher of nursing books and medical books. So sabi ko, why not? I use all these thousands of ebooks in the library and a review. So yun, ginamit ko yun, and then I became an ER nurse in Saudi Arabia for 4 years. 4 years, yeah. And then that's where I met my husband, who's a pharmacist in the hospital, the same hospital where I work. And then siya talaga yung my dream to come here to Canada. And then dahil frustrated na siya, 11 years in the making yung journey niya, sabi niya, ikaw na lang. Kasi sabi nung agent ko, mas bata ka daw. So mas may chances tayong pag ikaw yung student. And then niloko pa rin nila kami. As I said, 6,000 just to look for school and program. And yeah, so I started my research and then took my IELTS, processed all the permits. First is my study permit, all DIY, do it your own. Second, dahil ganun yung nationality niya, at that time then merong conflict between Saudi Arabia and Canada na pinull out ng King of Saudi yung lahat ng medical students nila na nandito sa Canada. At dinala nila sa US. So at noon napaka-risky nung path na inano ko na tinake ko. Instead of processing my student visa and submitting it in Manila visa office, I submitted it in Riyadh. visa office. And at that time, my conflict na ganun. I was really, really praying, please, please, please. So yeah. So I got my study permit and then eventually visitor visa for my husband. Same year, we got married February 2018. I started my process in April 2018. I got my study permit July 2018. He got his visitor's visa in sometime October. We ended up our contract November, and we set our foot here in Canada December 2018. I started my program January 2019. So it's all fast paced. Everything was happening so fast.
Wow, bilis din pala. Pero tama ba, Miss May, nauna po yung pagiging recognized yung nurse profession ninyo bago yung PR? If I recall the story right.
Yes, that happened first.
Ayun.
Na pending din. Na pending yung PR namin dahil may outland dependent ako.
Oh yeah.
Yung anak ko is nasa Pilipinas, na kahit dinala ko siya dito, follow-up after follow-up, well, hindi pa rin na-process, although approved na yung main application.
Oh, so ano pong inaral ninyo dito sa Canada?
So, ang nasa plan talaga is to go to Conestoga and study critical care, enhanced nursing practice, clinical and critical care, kasi base sa research namin ng friends ko, you need to have like multiple heads when researching your program talaga. Kasi you have to talk to different graduates ng program to see whether you think your education will be comparable to RN, your nursing practice will be comparable to RN, as well as your language proficiency. So sabi nila, yun daw enhanced nursing practice ng Conestoga ang pinakamadali na nag-take lang sila noon, all of their problem has been resolved. So yon dapat. Pero nung time na yon, napakadami nag-a-apply sa kanila, naubusan ako ng seat. And there's no going back dahil nakapag-resign na ako sa trabaho ko sa Saudi. So it's really like whichever I can take so that I can come here to Canada. Dahil kapag nag-resign ka, kapag nawalan ka ng employer sa Saudi, you can never go back. Kahit matagal ka pa doon. My husband has been there for 30 years. He was born there. But without an employer, everything has to stop. You have to get out of Saudi Arabia. So, because meron kaming kakilala sa London and Fansha's there, I just look for any program I can see, which I think I will benefit in the future. I ended up in health systems management in Fansha, also a 1-year program. It's a program about electronic medical record system. Kapag from paper record system ng hospitals, magiging siyang electronic. So medyo malayo sa aking profession, but still in the healthcare. So I still.
Yep. So okay then. I guess it still turned out for the better kahit na kaysa mag-antay, na-delay ka pa ng 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. And again, even if I'm not hitting, I know when I started studying in Fansha, I'm not hitting the 3 birds that they were saying with 1 stone. Kasi hindi siya makakount towards my RN credentials. But then still, that will count as your study in Canada. That will count for your PR in the future. So,
can we have that recollection again on 3 birds with 1 stone?
Yeah. So 3 birds. So the first bird is to come here as a student.
Okay.
So any you should be able to research for a school and a program na na magiging kang student here. So that means at least 8 months of program or equivalent to 1 year. So I hit that. Second is a program related to your credentials. So kung nurse siya. So that's the second bird. The third bird is to get to be eligible for PGWP and PR.
Wow, ayun. Ang daming birds ang tinama.
Yeah, kasi hindi siya mura. Hindi siya mura.
Oh yes, mahal.
If I can recall, I think only yung mga tuition fee na ngayon na nakikita ko from Lambton, they're cheaper than the usual ones before. But before it's around $15,000 to $17,000 a program. Kasi dun sa fansya ko was 16,000 plus.
Roughly 17 if you round it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Nung time na
And
yun.
then
yes.
for Conestoga was 15 plus, so still 16. So that was for 2 years, you're gonna spend $32,000 converted to peso. Hindi ka basta
Isang bahay na.
ilang years na pinag yun for sure.
Isang bahay na. Isang panalo sa ano bang show yon? Laban o Bawi or Wawawin, mga ganon. Isang jackpot na yun dun eh.
Yeah, especially for those healthcare workers that are working, let's say in Saudi Arabia, yung situation ngayon is very very hard compared sa situation namin noon dahil may taxes na doon. Yeah, you have to pay for your dependents there a lot. So
tsaka yung Saudization siguro.
yes, saving this amount of money is not easy. It will take you like years to do it. So when you choose a program, when you choose a school and you know that you want to be someone someday, like to be in your profession, you have to research hard and get all the resources you need. Sun-Cor is there to help you. But again, even with the help of Kuya Nick and Kuya Mick, it still boils to one person. Ikaw pa rin yung magdidesisyon for yourself dahil pera mo yun.
Yes.
Correct.
Here
Tsaka yung estudyante din kasi yung papasok, mag-e-exam,
Exactly.
magme-mental torture kung hindi niya gusto yung aaralin niya.
Yeah.
So I always tell students, ano ba yung gusto niyong aralin, number one? And does it align with your goals? If hindi, are you willing to compromise? Kasi in a perfect world, yung gusto mo, yung lagi nakukuha mo. But in reality, it's not always the same. It doesn't always work that way. So, syempre may konting give and take din between you and your goals. So yun yung para si Miss May. Yung gusto niya ng una, wala. So she had to take something else first.
Yes.
And eventually, she still ended up reaching her goals. So yun po yung reality sa pag-aaral. Hindi siya laging kung ano yung gusto mo. Kasi minsan, yung gusto mo, gusto rin ng libo-libong estudyante from all over the world. So hindi siya laging nandyan. As Kuya Nikki, laging yun yung isa sa mga stress siguro ni Kuya Nikki sa estudyante, yung puno na po. Kailangan makaisip tayo, makahanap po tayo ng ibang program na gusto ninyo.
Tama po yun. At saka, si Miss May talagang yun nga, perfect example na hindi sumuko. Kumbaga, she did find another option na para lang makapunta dito sa Canada. And Miss May, ano lang natin, focus natin dito yung sa NNAS, no? So ano ba yung NNAS? Kasi a lot of people are hearing about it. Is any health program ba pwede sa NNAS? Or we call NNAS is ano ba yun? National Nurses Assessment Service, right? So ano ba yun? Is it parang board exam ba yan? Or is it a nursing body here in Canada na nagre-regulate? Ano ba yun sila?
Okay, so NNAS is for nurses na nakapag-aral ng BSN or anything related sa nursing na ito yung parang comparable siya sa CGFNS kasi sister company sila. Hindi siya, NNAS ang ginagamit ng Canada, but CGFNS is used by the US. Ito lang yung body na double check ng mga credentials mo. So what are your credentials na kailangan mong ipasa sa NNAS is yung first yung education mo. So you're gonna get transcript and school papers from your college or university back home. any previous employment, nursing employment na dineclare mo on your application, any licenses, nursing licenses na dineclare mo. So PRC will send a document to NNAS, i-verify nila. After nilang ma-verify, hintay mo yung lahat ng results, saka mo palang mafo-forward yun sa College of Nurses ng province, let's say CNO, College of Nurses of Ontario, here in Ontario.
Yep.
The other one is proof. So kasama dun sa employment yung proof of safe nursing practice. Kung let's say, i-verify din nila kung meron kang proof of language proficiency. So let's say nag-take ka ng IELTS academic o kaya nag-aral ka sa Canadian institution na gumagamit ng English ng English medium of instruction. So i-verify nilang lahat 'yon. And the process for verification of documents, merong mga nakagawa na I was so amazed in 3 months natapos nila. But I tell you,
Wow.
it's different case to case. My journey, I started NNAS back in February 2019, a month after I start studying in Fansha. At that time, alam ko na yung pathway na gagawin ko. In-start ko yun noon. I was thinking, kung nakakapag part-time for 20 hours a week ang mga estudyante, why not mag-part-time ako sa nurse? 'Di ba? Kasi may work and authorization naman ako. At that time, baka may postgraduate work permit na ako, so makakapag-work ako agad. So sinimulan ko siya ng maaga, but I thought matatapos ko siya within the same year, but hindi yun nangyari. 2019 finished, hindi siya natapos dahil hindi siya online verification. What you're gonna do is to process all your application, fill out mo yung lahat ng application forms online, application forms for school, application forms for PRC, application forms for your employer, application form if may IELTS ka, ibibigay mo yung application form mismo sa university mo. So if you're here in Canada, think about who are your people na you can rely on to process those important documents for you. Are they your friends? Are they your parents? Think about it.
So, kailangan ng runner.
Yes, kailangan mo ng runner. At bawat sabihin mo na, let's say, kailangan mo bumalik sa university. Siyempre, kailangan mo padala ng pera. Kailangan ng ganito. Kailangan magpa-scan, magpa-photocopy, magpa-ganito. Kailangan magpa-notarize. Lahat yun. Kailangan mong gastusan. Pagpapadala from the school, hindi siya isisend electronically ng school. Hindi siya isisend electronically ng PRC. Isisend siya by paper. So,
Ano pala.
by courier siya. At kailangan naka-sealed yung envelope ng may date doon, may signature ng kung sino nag-send nun. And kailangan marireceive siya, yung actual na paper ng NNAS. And then sasaka pa lang nila sasabihin kapag na-receive na we receive this document, it is under review, ganyan-ganyan, and it takes a long, long time. And what if they miss something in that form? For me, a tick mark, a check mark was
Wow.
category of the education. The choices are nursing, practical nursing, or psychiatric nursing. Kahit nakalagay na sa lahat ng document na I graduated BSN, kailangan pa rin yung tick mark na yon. So again, I have to start all over again.
Yes, that's
So that's how tedious NNAS is. And yung process ko, since hindi siya natapos ng 2019, kasi ang application ng NNAS will cost you, one application will cost you $650.
wow.
But
Mahal
then,
din pala.
so in Canada, multiply nyo na lang 1 times 1.5. But then, dahil naninigurado ako, hindi lang dapat RN application yung sinubmit ko sa NNAS. Paano kung hindi ako maging comparable sa RN? Kailangan meron din akong RPN as a backup. Kasi kahit sabihin nila na not comparable ka sa RN, tingin mo comparable ka sa RPN, you cannot be an RPN kung kung hindi verify, hindi chinek ng NNAS na comparable yung lahat ng credentials mo to become an RPN. So I had to open 2 applications.
Hindi po automatic na, oh, Miss May, hindi ka qualified sa RN, pero pwede ka sa registered practical nurse.
Hindi po.
So hindi nila, so okay, wow.
Hindi
So
po.
hindi
Kailangan,
automatic, you still have to apply for it.
you have to apply. So when I started my application, I had to pay like 1,200 Canadian dollars to start the application, and that's only good for a year.
So 600 each, regardless kung anong level of a nurse you want to
Medyo may discount kapag mag-a-add ka lang ng another application. But then, yung tax niya ang laki. So, in total, umabot siya ng mga 1,200 Canadian. So, kung estudyante ka, ang laki nun.
Malaki. 20 hours per week. Kano ba yun? Actually, yeah.
$300 ka lang per week.
So, isang buwan ng estudyante sa 20 hours per week or 1 month's rent.
And then yung gastos mo hindi natatapos doon dahil yung pa lang yung start, nag-open ka pa lang ng file.
Yung
sa
runner
NNAS.
mo pa.
Yung para sa runner mo pa, yung may mga, mind you, there are schools in Philippines na nagcha-charge just to give these papers, these precious papers to NNAS will charge you 25,000 pesos.
What?
Because it's not like only a few pages of paper. For me, I had to specify na hindi 25-page paperwork yung kailangan ko. I needed like 800 something page. Kasi nandun lahat yung course details, course description, syllabus. Para makita nila, ma-compare nila yung lahat ng pinag-aralan mo. So, ginagawa ding negosyo siya ng mga university sa Pilipinas.
Tama ba? Yung dinig ko 800 pages?
Yes.
Yeah, kasi andun na lahat bro pati...
Depends, it varies. School to school, university to university, it varies.
Di malang shipping nun. Kasi 800 pages, medyo makapal yun
Yeah, ang alam ko, if you are a graduate, kasi nagbago ang nursing curriculum sa Pilipinas ng 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So 2011 and below, you belong to the old curriculum. And most likely, kapag nanggaling ka sa mga universities or colleges na hindi masyadong kilala, well, I came from Our Lady of Fatima University, hindi siya ganun ka-popular. Compared kung nanggaling ka, let's say, sa UE or sa
FEU, UST.
Yes, yung mga UP, yan, mga kilala yan. So, most likely comparable sila. Pero kung nanggaling ka sa ibang universities na hindi masyadong kilala, ang karamihan ng nakakausap ko is comparable lang sila to RPN. So, before pa nag-start ako, I know my education is just comparable to RPN.
May question lang ako. No, upon getting recognize yung credential mo as NNAS, would you consider yourself here as a nurse na ba or hindi pa talaga?
No. It's just the first process. So let's say na-verify na nila yung lahat ng credentials. Isasubmit mo, you're gonna submit the report. They call it advisory report. So you will get 2 advisory report. Let's say you opened RN and RPN application. So you will get advisory report for each. Nakalagay doon if you're somewhat comparable, or not comparable. Yung kapag nakalagay doon is comparable or somewhat comparable, pwede mo siyang i-apply sa College of Nurses. Kung saan ka pupunta, let's say Ontario. So you're gonna port that report to CNO website and start your application there. Again, more payment to come. Yes. And more verification to come. So, let's say na kumpleto ang nakalagay sa report ng NNAS is comparable or somewhat comparable ka to RN. Well, you are lucky dahil medyo mabilis i-process yun ng CNO. just a few things that you have to work on, maybe your authorization to work, so yung permit mo kailangan mo i-submit sa CNO, police, I think like police clearance na kukunin mo siya dito.
Yung vulnerability check ba yun?
Yeah.
Police vulnerability?
Not really. It's another criminal check na
Okay.
another body yung gagawa. But then again, if you apply for employment, you still need that vulnerability check because you're in a healthcare sector.
Yeah.
And then, so just a very, very few things kapag comparable ka from NNAS. Pero kapag nakalagay doon is you're not comparable, then you have to work harder.
So may
Lucky for sorry kuya.
Yeah, continue. Sorry about.
Yeah, so back before pandemic, ganon kahirap yung process. But nagkaroon ng dahil sa pagpupursige ng mga nurses, especially Filipino nurses in Ontario, medyo nabuhayan ng loob ang mga fellow nurses natin dahil CNO is making every step para medyo bumilis ang processing for international nurses. Kung dati, kailangan mong umuwi ng Pilipinas kung wala kang safe nursing practice. Ang safe nursing practice meaning nakapag-practice ka for at least 450 hours in the last 3 years. So kung wala ka no, hindi ka makapag-practice. What they do is they usually go back to Philippines, volunteer there in a lying-in clinic or in a health center just to get those hours, come back here, present that to CNO with a ticket, plane ticket and all, para maging siyang comparable. Or dati, you have to take IELTS or you have to present lots and lots of forms para maging okay yung language proficiency mo. But now, it started March 7. Medyo gumaan na yung sa language proficiency, and meron na rin silang program ngayon na nagki-cater dun sa mga applicants na walang safe nursing practice. They call it supervised practice, SPEP, supervised practical or practicum experience program, na mag-a-apply ka lang doon sa portal nila and then ima-match ka sa employer. Tapos, bibigyan ka ng employer ng certain hours to complete para magkaroon ka ng practice.
In Canada?
In Canada. So that's really, really a good thing. But it's only CNO that does that. That's why
Ontario lang.
The nurses in BC, hi! Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Oh, it's really so hard. They are giving up. Everyone who comes as a nurse, they do their process first here in CNO, and after getting a certain number of years of experience, 1,500 hours to be exact for Alberta, that's when they reciprocate their licenses to go to the provinces they like.
So yung reciprocation, hindi rin ka-straightforward pala.
Yes. I still don't know much about reciprocation, but ang alam kong pinakamadaling i-reciprocate is Nova Scotia. But if you start there and pass your NNAS to Nova Scotia or to Alberta, it will take you years.
Oh yeah,
I see.
And nurses are giving up. They ended up, just staying as PSWs and HCA. So it's really, really,
Yeah. Ms. Mick, lang, for the information of everyone lang. Yung NNAS ba, is it comparable to NCLEX?
No, kuya. Comparable siya sa CGFNS. Parang verification lang siya ng documents. Parang let's put it this way. Kahit ako, I had to go through ICAS or WES. Para lang siyang ganon.
So yung iba kasi mga tanong ng estudyante, kuya may NCLEX passer na ako, ganyan-ganyan. Magiging nurse ba ako sa Canada?
No, you still have to go through NNAS CNO process if you're going to CNO and present your proof na you will ask, let's say, anong state of, yung Board of Nursing sa state na yon. Let's say you're licensed in New York. If submit pa rin nila yung paperwork na yun to CNO or to NNAS, bago ka palang
Hmm.
maging nurse. Bago ka palang mabigyan ng na na maging nurse kapag may NCLEX ka na. Kung wala ka pang NCLEX, let's say kasi ngayon before magkaiba yun eh. Before kapag NCLEX passer ka sa US mo lang siya magagamit, hindi nila ino-honor, magte-take ka pa rin. But then I think like years ago, you can use that NCLEX, give it to CNO, and then mabibigyan ka ng license. But still, you still have to go through all that processes.
So, hindi rin siya reciprocated, kumbaga.
Yeah, but the thing is,
would it help kung may NCLEX na
it
sila?
will help kung let's say nag CGFNS ka na. So that component in NNAS, CNO part is tapos na. Hindi ka na magre-review for NCLEX. And sa ngayon, sa updated nilang, kasi pinapabilis ng CNO yung processes, kapag let's say hindi comparable yung RN education mo, let's say comparable lang siya sa RPN, pero may NCLEX ka, magiging ka ng comparable, yung education mo is gagawin na nilang comparable to RN.
So may boost pa lang
Yes.
nakukuha from
I think it was over last year na nabago yun.
I see.
But not for all NCLEX passers. Again, merong but. Para lang siya sa mga NCLEX passer, I think, na nag-pass from 2013. So, maraming nagpipetition, how about us? We passed the NCLEX and we took it back in 2009, 2010. We are still left in the limbo.
wala pa.
Nice. Ayan, it's a very informative talaga. Lalo na yung mga professional nurses.
Madaming nurse, Kuya Nikki, na talagang pumupunta ng
Every day sa 30 to 40 people I talk day, siguro kalahati doon are nurses na gustong mag-apply dito. I always tell them na hindi po ganun kadali yung process if you want to become a nurse here. No, it's a long way pa lang. Hindi lang, for example, they mentioned about NNAS. Sabi ko, it's a perfect timing kasi nga we have someone who really experienced the NNAS path na recognize siya, and then what's next? Ano ba yung susunod nun? Pag ma-recognize ka, magiging nurse ka na ba? Hindi pa. It's just the first step. Kumbaga.
Parang ka lang nag-WES or ICAS.
Yes. And then, so can you share us, Ms. May, kung paano ba? Ano bang ginawa mo after nakakuha mo yung NNAS mo?
So since nag-start ako ng February 2019, nagpabalik-balik yung papers ko dahil first, may nakalimutang tick mark yung sa school ko. Inulit ko ulit yun. At that time, nag-COVID na. So, laging close sila. Sabi is, ano nga ba yun? Yung may level of alert sa ano nakapag-level, MCQ, GCQ, pwede. And then, sabi, i-declare ko yung previous experience ko sa Saudi Arabia. You may or may not declare your previous employment. It depends on how easy it will be at kung makakatulong siya. Let's say meron kang nursing employment ng, let's say 5 years ago. Natapos yon. Will you can still use it for your safe nursing practice? No. Because as I said, safe nursing practice is only good if you have these hours within the last 3 years. So kapag wala na siya, let's say 5-6 years ago na siya, better not declare it kasi mas tatagal lang, magiging tedious lang yung process mo. In the end, ang result hindi pa rin comparable. So, dahil iniisip ko kung magiging comparable pa siya by the time na matapos ako, so declare ko siya. Ang nangyari dahil wala na akong masyadong friends back in Saudi, I still have friends in Saudi. But, it really takes a lot of effort kasi na magpabalik-balik sa employer mo. At lahat naman kasi ng mga OFW is busy din sa kanilang buhay-buhay. So, hindi siya madaling ipakiusap. So, nahirapan ako. It took me like 7 months to get that paper from my employer. And then another one, hindi lang yun. Kasi kung may naging empleyado ka doon, so kukuha ka sa employer, kukuha ka din ng sa licensing. So Saudi Council para sa license mo doon. So isa pa ring mahirap yon dahil puro Arabic lang yung sulat nila. Minsan mali-mali yung sulat. Kailangan alam mo. Yung tao na papapuntahin mo doon, dapat alam mo yung ano. So,
Dapat knowledgeable din siya.
yeah. And then, so natagalan ako and I had to pay another $180 US dollars para i-renew yung ano ko, yung application ko para magpatuloy siya ng 2020. Luckily, habang pandemic, nakuha ko, I think August 2020, nakuha ko yung advisory. And as I expected, I'm comparable to RPN and not comparable to RN.
Oh.
Yeah, so at that time, ang iniisip ko at that time tapos na ako ng Conestoga. So after pala ng fansya ko, as soon as natapos ko yon ng 8 months, hindi ako nag-off-sem, hindi ako nag-take ng break, diniretso ko
Diretso
siya ng
na.
Conestoga. Bumalik pa rin ako dun sa talagang goal ko. Kasi yun ang hinahabol ko para maging comparable yung education ko to RN, and just in case mag-lapse yung safe nursing practice ko, meron kasi siyang clinical component na nag-duty kami sa ospital. So magagamit ko siya towards that. So at that time iniisip ko natapos ko na siya, but something happened. I was pregnant and hindi ko pwedeng sabayan yung placement. It has to be postponed. Hindi ako graduate ng April 2020. Lahat ng mga kaklase ko, nung nag-resume yung clinicals, that was July, that was the time I was giving birth. So I had to postpone it. I took it the next fall. So nag-graduate ako from the program December 2020.
Pregnant na, pandemic pa.
Pandemic
Pero
pa.
nalagpasan naman, di ba?
Yeah, and then akala ko, yay, tapos na. Ano na, makakapag-practice na ako. Hindi pa rin kasi it takes the college to process all your papers like about a month.
Oh.
And then pinasa ko siya sa CNO, so pinasa ko yung language component, pinasa ko yung transcripts and all para maging comparable yung education ko to RN, tas para ma-update din yung safe nursing practice ko just in case. Nag-April na, April 2021, wala pa. At that time, umano yung news na, Canada will be recruiting or getting foreign nurses from Philippines and other countries to help with pandemic. Nung time na yun, nag-init ang lahat ng Filipino nurses na nandito na nag-work as PSWs. Sabi nila, bakit kayo kukuha ng foreign nurses na hindi pa nakakapag-start ng process kung nandito na kami and we're just waiting in the sidelines? So, nung time na yun, na-interview ako ng CTV Kitchener because of Jason. Yeah. And then, dahil sa, you have to make noise para marinig ka. So, marami din mga ng RNAO. RNAO is like Nursing Association, para siyang PNA sa Pilipinas. Nursing associations ng mga nurses dito na nagsasabi na we have thousands and thousands of internationally trained nurses na hindi makapag-practice dahil sa lahat ng red tape nyo. So that's why eventually nag-loosen up yung process. At nakita nila, nag-start na silang magbigay ng incentives for PSWs kapag mag-work ka for a year, incentives for RNs. So luckily, nung time na yon, April 2021, nag-issue sila ng to start emergency class. So you only have three classes. You have the general class, you have the temporary class. Temporary class of nurses is yung natapos mo na yung lahat ng components, binigyan ka ng CNO ng temporary license to practice but only for 6 months dahil wala ka pa ng exam. Either wala ka pa ng NRE for RPN or wala ka pang NCLEX. But within 6 months, kailangan mong mapasa yun. Otherwise, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-practice. Emergency nursing is kailangan mo lang 3 component. Kailangan mo lang RN education, your language, and your safe nursing practice. The rest, kahit wala pa. So, doon ako napasok. Sabi ko, language na lang yung hinihintay ko eh. Sabi ko, nag-email ako, sabi ko, please consider my application. Alam kong kulang pa ako, wala pa yung language ko, hindi pa siya nare-review ng CNO. Sabi ko, I have all these pending documents, pero since December pa, since January pa, nasubmit ko na siya. What take you so long to review it kung kailangan nyo talaga ng nurses? And then, you know what? Same day, I got the email saying that you are eligible to register as as a nurse under emergency class.
Wow.
And that emergency class you don't have to pay for the registration fee. So I took advantage of it.
Libre
And
at least.
the same day I landed a job too. So that was so overwhelming.
Where's the wait?
Ang daming experience ni Miss May. Imagine mo, she's a perfect example of yun nga, coming from an OFW, coming to Canada with a foreign partner.
Yeah.
Second is you did 1+1 with different school.
Yeah.
1 year in Fanshawe and 1 year in Conestoga.
Conestoga.
Yeah.
Third is you are a perfect example of a student who gave birth here in Canada.
Yeah.
Diba? And then aside is yun nga, the NNAS, you get the you did the process of the NNAS. And lastly, can you share how did you become a permanent resident? Which pathway did you use?
Yeah. So at that time, na-invite kami under CEC. Ang ginamit namin is yung 1 year NOCB experience ng asawa ko.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's just kasi he backed me up with all the financial matters. So I think it's just, even though I know that in the future or at that time, I'm already eligible to apply, and me as the main applicant, I think it's just, nararapat lang. Hindi ako
Yes,
makuha
it's
ng
also
lang
good for
na-
him kasi kung 11 years in the making na sa kanya,
Yes.
tapos siya yung naging primary applicant, parang
Exactly.
sweet
So,
victory din sa kanya.
PR kayo bago ka mag-graduate din?
So we are part of the February 13.
Oh, this one.
February
Yung
13.
special,
Nang bumaba yung
special draw.
actually 400, ano ba yung score namin? Not too low yung score namin, but at that time noon kami na draw. So prinasas namin nakuha namin yung invitation ng February 13. Was that 2021?
2020.
2021 nga ba?
2021.
2020?
Yeah, 2021 to be exact.
2021. Yeah.
At yung 75 points lang yung dinawa
Yes.
nila.
It was really like every week I was checking and I was like when I saw it I said 75, fuck. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
And then ginising ko agad yung asawa ko, baby, look at this. You can't believe it. Maybe it's a glitch.
Nalala ko yun, sabi pa ni Miss May, Kuya, bakit wala pa yung ITA? Pasok ba kami o hindi?
That time din, ang daming nagsisi na hindi nag-rate ng express entry profile kasi mababa daw yun. Kahit na nakapag 1 year na sila ng work experience kasi mababa pa daw. Ayun, ngayon, after that incident, kaya hirap na mag-book ng IELTS, hirap na mag-book ng CELPIP kasi nga everyone wants to to create an express entry profile. Kasi
pinagkaperahan na nila yung pagbo-book ng IELTS and CELPIP.
Ayun nga eh. Tapos at that time, after the Feb 13, bumaba pa rin yung CRS. Siguro it took until June or July ba yun na 300 na lang. Something
but then it didn't go down to 75 again.
No.
Parang one time.
It was just a one-time thing.
Sabi nga ni Nick, yung 75, parang age pa lang, you can get the 75 eh.
as long as you're here and you had the 1 year
You
and
want
your
your work experience?
papers are
Or
complete, then
the
yeah.
CEC
So
only.
yeah, so mind you, with all those processes in the background, like you're studying, you're processing for your nursing license in the future. At the same time, you're preparing for PR, and you
Buntis
you
pa.
take you buntis pa. Ayun, so lahat ng yon April nung naging nurse ako under emergency class. April din namin sinubmit yung application namin, yung AOR.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I heard back in July. Saying our application
May
was
June,
approved.
Not bad. Bilis yung
Yes,
practice.
July. But then ito na yung meron ng portal
Yeah.
na you have to confirm that you're here in Canada.
Yep.
At that time, I've been struggling to get my son kasi mahigpit pa rin sa Pilipinas. Hindi ko makuha-kuha by visit or ewan ko, bakit ko siya vinisit? Yun yung isa sa mga pagkakamali ko. Bakit ko siya in-apply?
Madaming naipit during that time kasi nga yung mga outland applicant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kung wala yung yung outland dependent, naiipit yung mga ano. But I think
Yes.
right now, it's slowly becoming normal.
Yes.
Ang backlog naman ngayon kasi yung Afghanistan tsaka Ukraine ang nagkakos. So yun yung mga ano. Miss Pay, may question pala ako.
Yes.
Bakit po yung nurse from the Philippines, pagdating dito, hindi automatic nurse? Is it just because of the perception na you came from a different country or meron talagang iba na set of skills or practices?
You mean aside from the papers that they have to go through?
Yeah, I mean, bakit walang, again, the word reciprocation na, oy, nurse ng Philippines, automatic nurse ng Canada? Dahil ba may ibang skill set na wala yung Filipino nurses or is it just because we didn't finish here?
I think first of all is yung pagkakaiba ng curriculum.
Okay.
Second na masasabi ko is, well, I admire all Filipino nurses and kahit mapunta sila ng UK, everyone say that you are wonderful nurses, you prepare everything for the doctor. Pupunta na lang yung doctor, sabi na, okay, ito na yung orders ko, nagawa na lahat ng nurses. Even here in Canada and other parts of the world, but I think it's missing the clinical assessment part. Clinical assessment is yung very quick ka to determine kung yung condition ng pasyente is changing very quickly at dapat makomplet. Yun yung nakita ko sa education ko from Philippines and na-compare ko siya dito na yun yung nawawala, missing part, yung clinical assessment part. But then ginagawa na siya ng ibang nurses na, let's say, nasa Pilipinas, let's say, nasa ICU, yung kapag matagal ka na sa practice, alam mo na yung tingin mo mangyayari sa pasyente, ganyan. Pero, again, it has to be on those papers. So, kung wala siya sa curriculum mo.
Oh, as a curriculum, not as an experience.
Yeah. Main talaga yung curriculum. So malaking bagay na pinaluwag ng CNO yung process na magiging comparable, masosolve yung problem na yun about education kung mag-take ka ng NCLEX. That's why it's really good for those who already have NCLEX from 2013 and beyond.
2013 ang cut-off.
2013. Yeah.
Yes. Ayun. I think naman bro almost all profession kasi na galing sa Pilipinas. So for example, engineers, accountant.
Oh yeah. Kahit si wife ko yung teaching license niya, I think it took a year. May 1 year din bago lumabas to become eligible as a public teacher. May 1 year din lumabas yung sa kanya. Tapos
ang kagandahan dito bro is yun nga, all professions naman sa atin, they will be given a chance to to present their experience, parang magpapa-credit. No?
Yes. Yung sa wife ko, nabigyan siya ng license, Pero binigyan din siya ng mga courses to take para ma-maintain si license.
To go
Kumbaga.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basic example din sa si wife ko din kasi accountant
Oh,
siya.
sa accounting, malamang ganun din.
Oh, so hindi nila kailangan mag-school ulit pero she has given the opportunity to challenge the exam.
Yes.
Parang ganun din siya. And same thing with engineers, ano mo yun, yung may mga licenses sa atin. Oo.
Sa nurse ba walang challenge exam?
Challenge mo yung NCLEX. NCLEX and CPNRA. Yeah, and even for pharmacists. So
Oh,
that's
yes.
what my
Yes.
husband is
Sabi
doing
nga
right
pala,
now.
pharmacist.
It's a long process for him too. Mas mahirap sa kanya kasi tatlong exam, tas may internship pa.
You
Bukod
must,
pa yung IELTS academic ulit. So
Wow.
nakatapos pa lang siya ng isa, and then this year the next one.
yeah, that's a good start. No?
Yeah.
Maganda na yung i-challenge kaysa mag-aaral ka ulit.
Yeah, for him it's just a challenge, but it's also like a lot of examinations, unlike the nurses na isa lang talaga yung major. Mahirapan ka lang sa papers.
Yes. Tapos, Miss May, isingit ko lang to, no? Sa mga nagtatanong kasi, libre ba daw mga anak while you are a student here in Canada? Para lang ma-clear based on your experience. Kasi nanganak ka, student pa yung mo nun, di ba? Oo.
Pero may OHIP.
Yan.
Yeah, at that time I was lucky to have OHIP. But nung time na yon, marami talagang maraming buts. Nung time na yon, parang na-expire yung OHIP or nagkaroon ng gap sa work. And kailangan kong i-ready yung Sun Life at the same time sa school. But then, dahil pandemic, sabi nila, oh, you don't need to wait for, di ba wala nang waiting period, wala nang ganito,
Yes.
ganyan, pandemic. So, yon. At that time, yung hospital nagba-back and forth sa akin. So, no, we need the actual card. Sabi ng Service Ontario, hindi na daw. Sabi ko, kayong dalawa yung mag-usap. Yeah, so to answer the question, as long as you have the OHIP, it's gonna be for free.
Yun. So,
If you are on, let's say, katutungtong mo pa lang dito, you're just studying for like 2 months, yung husband mo or yung partner mo hindi pa nakakakuha ng OHIP or hindi pa kayo eligible, that's gonna be tough kasi most of the insurances, papagbayarin ka muna upfront and then i-reimburse.
Out of pocket muna. Tapos saka i-reimburse.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's, for normal delivery will be okay, but if cesarean, medyo siguro malaki yung bill.
bro, natin, i-clarify lang natin sa lahat ng viewers natin na yung OHIP is the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, para siyang PhilHealth. Each province naman merong ganitong program.
Each province,
process nga lang. Ang lang natin dito is, this is only given pag may OWP partner ka.
I think for some provinces, kahit dumating ka as a single student, eligible ka. Pero not all province. I think I have to confirm. Pero si Alberta yata pag dumating, kahit student ka lang, meron ka nung ASIP naman yung tawag, hindi OHIP. Alberta Health Something Insurance Plan din. I might be wrong, but I have to double check na yung iba kasi parang meron kahit estudyante lang sila eh. Walang kahit single, dumating single.
Dito sa Ontario, yun nga.
Ontario in particular, yes. Kailangan.
Tapos, I think you can apply for OHIP once naka-PGWP ka na. Tama, bro?
Yes. So, once worker ka na, nagbabayad ka na ng tax, yun, work permit ka, pwede na. Kaya yung iba, nata-timing yung anak PGWP naka-OHIP na, or yun nga, through the OWP. So, yun yung mga,
May mga bagong students tayo dumating dito na couple na, as long as they have a full-time job, they can apply for OHIP na. Hindi na naghihintay yung 3 months.
Yeah, there's no more 90 days waiting period.
Yes.
Yun bang wave na 90 days, is it because of the pandemic or new policy na to?
Because of the
Ontario.
Pandemic na nga bro to. There was no announcement, official announcement for it. Just like yung mga students natin, they just share na We went to Service Canada, or
Service
no,
Ontario.
Service Ontario, sorry.
Yeah.
Service Ontario, that they did not require the 3 months. So the spread lang yung yung news yun. And that's why what we wanted to share lang din sa mga
Ah,
natin. A lot
sorry.
of our students didn't get the 3 months work experience sa full-time job ng mga open work permit holder para mag-apply for OHIP. So as long as you have the what do you call it, certificate of employment
Tsaka permit.
tsaka permit, you can go and you can apply for yourself, for your wife, or for the student and for the kids.
Dependents.
Yeah. Pero hindi po libre yung medical tsaka dental ha. This is just for the
Yung
checkup,
um,
fertilization.
hindi libre yung sa dentist tsaka sa eyeglasses. I think what
Yes.
would cover that one would be your company insurance naman.
Yes.
Mhm. Ayun. So, yung namang Miss May, sa anak mo, automatic ba Canadian citizen, or you were given an option with citizenship?
No. Nung tinatry ko siyang ikunin by the end of 2020, hindi siya ma-approve, hindi ma-process yung application. As in, sobrang nakatenga siya, walang nangyayari sa application. Then, nag-reapply ulit ako ng after ng July. So, he came here September 29, and he traveled alone. He's a 9-year-old boy. He traveled alone dahil pandemic, hindi ako pinapayagan ng employer ko, wala silang staff.
Yeah.
Sobra yung mental stress ko nun.
Yes.
He traveled alone. Luckily, he came here and as a student. And then
I
we
think
got
student minor.
yes, student
Dependent
minor.
siya. Yeah.
Yun po
I
ang
just had to present my PGWP and proof of employment when I applied for him.
And then I think yung tanong ni Kuya Nikki yung kay Baby, paglabas ni Baby,
Oh,
may
sa
option ba to pick the citizenship? Kasi kami, diretso, citizen
That's
Canadian na eh.
automatic. You are Canadian by birth. But then, I think you can still, as long as you are, one of your parents is Filipino by blood, you can still get a passport as a Filipino.
Yeah.
I am still gonna check with the
Ako,
embassy.
hindi ko na rin
I don't wanna
na-explore yung
give up
part na
that
yun
that
paglabas
option.
ng anak
I
ko.
don't wanna give up that option. Kasi you might have problems in the future acquiring properties in the Philippines if you're not a Filipino.
Pag hindi ka yata Filipino, condo na lang pwede mo bilhin eh.
Saka,
Hindi land.
din bro, you can only buy properties in the Philippines if you have money then.
If you what?
If you have money.
Ay, yun pala yung number one problem.
Yeah,
Yun pala muna, number one, pambili.
Exactly.
Huwag muna mag-isip. Kung mag-isip mo muna, dito muna. Like I said, we always encourage everyone to really invest their buy a property here. Kasi nga having a property or a own house or condo will really give you a high chance to borrow money. Alam mo yun? Pag homeowner ka kasi, talagang if you need some money, you can always make your house as collateral sa paghiram ng pera. Yun. Sabi nga nila, powerful ka daw pag may may-ari ka ng bahay ka. Yun. Ano pa ba tayo? Are you still good, Miss May? I know,
Pa ba si baby mo?
ngayon.
Okay pa. Kagabi medyo akala ko lalabas na pero hindi pa. False alarm.
But this is very informative talaga, lalo na sa mga mga nurses natin. I have another question here. Meron bang mga program that you can recommend for nurses that will undergo NNAS din? Kung mag-a-apply pa lang sila dito sa Canada. What are the programs? Siguro i-mention mo din yung program mo sa Conestoga para at least.
Again, reminder lang bago ako magsabi ng mga programs. Again, sa priority nyo pa rin 'yon. it depends. Merong nurses na ayaw na talagang bumalik sa nursing profession.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you wanna try other programs, that's good. Kung yun ang nasa puso mo. But then kung gusto mo talagang maging RN in the future, you have to really research hard para yung 16,000 mo na ibabayad is makukuha mo yung lahat ng benefit from it. So, yung program na kinuha ko is from Conestoga. Dati 1-year program lang siya. Enhanced Nursing Practice, Clinical and Critical Care. And then yung second program niya na tawag dito, na i-encourage nung college na kunin ng mga estudyante as their second year program is the Enhanced Nursing Practice Gerontology. So nung nakita nila na after ng clinical and critical care, lahat umalis yung students. Finuse na nilang dalawa. So 2-year program na siya, Enhanced Nursing Practice, which is composed of clinical and critical care and gerontology. So
Oh, at
that's
least.
from Conestoga. I think the other ones that I heard is from Seneca. Merong kumukuha ng meron din silang gerontology, meron silang nursing, leadership and management.
Yep.
Meron din silang coronary, but yung coronary is only makakapag-apply ka lang doon kung meron ka ng NNAS. Kung meron ka ng result ng NNAS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. From Niagara, meron ding nursing leadership and management. Meron din ata silang critical care, parang critical care before. I'm not sure whether nag-start na rin sila ng gerontology. What else? It's just a very, very few list that I have in my mind. There's one in Algonquin.
Actually, nag-check din ako sa NNAS na I think yung sabi mo nga, yung gerontology, yung palliative care,
Yeah, there's palliative care.
nandun yung din, yung nursing leadership and management,
Yun, sikat din yun.
community mental health as well.
Yeah. The thing is, some of those programs ay walang clinical component.
Yes, most of them are just hindi siya co-op, kumbaga placement, field placement ang tinatawag nila.
Okay.
Field placement is it's not similar to co-op kasi pag co-op kasi talagang purely nasa hospital ka or nasa clinical settings ka eh. Yung field placement kasi like few hours in a day, andun ka lang. Pero most of this program kasi is a 1-year program eh.
Yeah,
Only I don't see any 2 years except sa sinabi mo yung finuse ng Conestoga. Palliative care is 1 year, gerontology is 1 year, nursing leadership and management is 1 year, community mental health is 1 year. Like most of the big schools are offering this one. Seneca, even Centennial, but not all. Conestoga,
yeah.
but Niagara and even Northern College.
Northern College at
Lampton,
Viewers.
Yeah, they already started.
Yung Lampton kasi yung gerontology nila is 2 years.
But is it nursing? I haven't read about it, but is it nursing specific? Meron kasing gerontology just like from Fansha. Hindi siya magagamit mo siya for language, but then hindi para maging equivalent yung education mo to RN. Kasi gerontology siya for allied healthcare professionals, not really for nurses.
Yan. Ito naman real talk din naman to, Hindi ko dinidiscourage, yung mga nurses natin. Pero people who are taking gerontology, palliative care, after they finish their studies, they end up working as PSW.
Exactly. If you wanna be in long-term care settings, that will really, really help. Long-term care, retirement home settings, that will really, really help. I have friends na PSWs din and nurses din back home. After nung program namin na health systems management, they went for gerontology. They were able to use some of its components para sa kanilang NNAS.
Yes.
But yeah, it depends on kung ano yung missing sa'yo sa credentials mo.
Yeah, ayun. So yeah, and once again, guys, if you need help, especially for programs that can help you with your NNAS, just feel free to visit or inquire with Sun-Cor. We'll be happy to help you out. Like I said, libre lang po yung LOA namin. Never po kami naningil kahit piso yung pag-process ng LOA. Once again, kasi marami kasing naninira na naman sa Sun-Cor na we're, ano lang daw, naniningil daw kami ng $250. Ano lang daw, in front lang daw yung free. Once again, a lot of people can attest na wala po kaming siningil kahit piso. Actually, kami pa nga yung namimigay.
Bibigay.
May cashback kaming 100. Kasi what we get, we always share it. That's what we, din ni Kuya Mikmik. So, ayun.
And
Alam ko.
we can attest to that, and you
Ayan.
don't. Yeah, you don't, for the students lang, Kuya, you don't get to blame those people who have helped you get the LOA. No, because you yourself should do your, the due diligence. You should do your research as well.
Yes.
These people are helping you get it for free when you have to pay really $100. But yeah, you should be thankful and also do your research and don't blame other people that have helped you before.
Minsan ka napa-PR ko na sinisisi pa ako eh.
Yun lang. Yun lang. Ouch.
Tsaka, ano ba yung naging mo, Miss Agneto? Ano talagang ito? Parang question ko to before ka nag-start sana eh. Ano ba yung nag-push sa'yo? Bakit gusto mong pumunta ng Canada? If you've been working as a nurse already in Saudi. Oo.
At that time, bago kami bago sabihin sa akin ng asawa ko na I've been dreaming about this and blah, blah, blah. At that time, hindi pa kami kasal. I was already invited by one of the agencies, I think Wise. I'm not sure whether it was Wise. It was in a hotel, Novotel in Riyadh. But they're presenting, okay, you can be a registered practical nurse. You just have to pay this and that. Napakalabo nung presentation. I said, may mga testimonial naman, ganyan. But then sabi ko, I don't have that capital. I really don't. Like, even if I'm earning, I think I can support myself with the salary that I was getting. It's still not enough to build that 32,000 that you have to use for the study. And kung wala kang, at that time I was alone. I was a breadwinner for my family. Nagpapadala ako monthly ng support for them. So kasi going to this venture or your new adventure sa Canada, kailangan mo ng mental support, kailangan mo ng financial support, emotional support para matapos mo yung journey eh. So having a partner, having someone na mag-go through talaga sa lahat ng journey, ng ups and downs na biruin mo, you had to go through different jobs like cleaning, janitorial, I tried that. I'm proud. Really,
hindi man nila nakikita yan sa Facebook natin. Alam mo yun, siyempre, we don't share
exactly.
yung mga moments natin. But that's the reality. Sa akin naman, just to share the personal, doon ko na-realize pala na ang hirap magpadala ng pera sa Pilipinas. Alam mo yun, some of our, siguro mga relatives lang din na, ay, hindi nagpapadala si mama o hindi nagpapadala. Alam mo yun, hindi na na-realize na yung pera dito, hindi pinupulot. Not only in Canada, even in Saudi, UAE, di ba?
May cultural expectation kasi pag nag-abroad ka, mag-i-entrega ka eh.
Huwag kayo magtampo kung hindi kayo mapadalhan ng pera in time. Kasi nga po, all of us are also finding ways how to make money.
Hindi kayo napadala ng Toblerone, huwag kayong magalit.
Kasi you're dealing with your own, sorry sa word, but you're dealing with your own shit, to pull things together.
Exactly.
You're like paycheck after paycheck kung nag-aano ka, kung estudyante ka, and you're worrying for your tuition fee.
Yes.
Kaya wala kang pocket money here.
Kasi yung 20 hours per week mo,
it's not enough.
First is you I mean, there's no guarantee for 20 hours per week.
Exactly.
Hindi po yun guarantee na, ay, next week, 20 hours, the following week, 20 hours, so magkano kaya sweldo ko? Hindi ganun yun. What if the employer will just give you 10 hours?
Tsaka bukod doon, Kuya Nikki, ang dami na nagsabi, Kuya, pagdating ko dyan sa Canada, sasagadin ko yung 20 hours per week. Tapos pagdating nila, Kuya, hindi ko pala kaya magtrabaho kasi ang demanding
Yes.
nung ano.
Exactly.
Ang daming estudyante,
School pa lang.
ganun nangyari.
Meron ding student na hindi nag-work for the first 3 months kasi he wants to adjust muna yung study
Yeah.
ano niya. Kasi
Yeah.
it's been like 15 to 20 years the last time they went to school.
Tsaka may culture shock factor na ang bilis
Weather.
lahat. Ang bilis lahat. May
At saka,
expectation na you learn.
swerte if you will land the job in a month. You know?
Yeah.
May mga students na talagang even like CV after CV, sending resume, going through all those networking, 'di ba? Pusali ka ng mga club just to know people na makapag-refer sa'yo for employers. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Something na
yeah.
you can enjoy and, you think you can do at the same time while studying. So it's hard to land a job.
yes. Pero swerte kayo kung may partner din kayo. Sabi nga ni Miss May, it really helped her family a lot, having the husband as an open work permit, letting him do the full-time work at the same time si Miss May kasi pregnant nga siya. Don't expect a pregnant woman to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was working, but then yung first year ko ng 2019, nagka-miscarriage ako after naming mag-Wonderland. Oh my God. I didn't know. Nag-Wonderland kami and then I had spotting. Figured out I was pregnant. So yung first months ko, like 6 months when I was in Conestoga, I didn't really work because mentally na-stressed ako and
Yes. At saka yung mental health dito sa Canada is
Yes.
very important.
Oh,
No?
it's real. It's real, yeah.
Real talaga kasi nga talaga a lot of horror stories about depression, lalo na we're living in a different country na hindi to bansa natin.
Iba yung pressure sa ibang bansa sa Pilipinas eh. Kasi sa Philippines, kahit sabihin mong busy ka, may oras ka tumambay eh. Dito,
True.
di ba makakatambay ka sa mall eh. Nakakatambay ka sa mall. Nakikita mo yung friends mo, nakapagtsikahan kayo. Pero dito parang hindi ganun kadali tumambay.
Yeah, everything is by appointment.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Meeting
Tama
your
si
friends,
Nikki.
hindi ka pwedeng surprise, bulaga na lilitaw ka lang sa bahay. No, they don't practice that. Nangyari rin sa amin yan na bumisita kami sa isang kaibigan namin dito na lumaki.
Unannounced. Yung biglang bisita ba?
Biglang bisita. Sabi niya, sorry, but we're scheduled to clean the house today. So, hindi kami pinapasok. Pero that's, naman Canadian culture naman yun eh. Kumbaga, kung hindi ka naka-appointment, talagang, wag mo kasi nga, that person siguro may mga plano na. No?
True.
Yeah.
And
Tayo
time
mga
is
Pinoy,
gold.
yeah, pwede na tayong pumunta tayo doon di ba? Anytime, pwede tayong pumunta sa bahay ng kaibigan natin.
Sa Pilipinas, di ba? Parang text ka lang, oy, bahay ka ba? Malapit na ako sa inyo. Pwedeng tumambay. Yun. Dali lang eh. Ang dali tumambay sa atin dito. Parang hindi.
And I think it has something to do with the sun. With the sun. Because we only see, bright sun in 6 months.
Yeah.
The half of the year, it's all winter. Not really all winter, but it's cold and
Kaya lagi may vitamin deficiency ang Canadians. Vitamin D. Tama ba? Vitamin D?
Yes,
vitamin D.
sunlight. So, Miss May, nakauwi ka naman ng Pilipinas since you came here in Canada?
Nope.
No. Just imagine.
Mga hindi pa nakauwi.
Yay! Sabi namin, after na, pag na PGWP na, uuwi na. Akala ko nun, uwi na ako dahil susundin ko yung anak ko. That didn't happen. He had to travel alone. Sabi ko, kapag may PR na-approve na yung PR, hindi pa rin naka-travel. Sabi, just wait pa ng PR card. Ngayon naman, tapos na, andyan na PR card. Ano pang hinihintay natin?
Citizenship na naman.
Citizenship, that's right.
Ganyan na
Prior
nangyari
to,
sa amin.
diba? The days are counted as half. Ngayon, it's counted as 1 day.
Oh yeah, as a PR, full day na per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pero, I mean,
2 years na lang. 2 years na lang.
kami talaga ni Kuya Mikmik is, witness how, May started her
Oh
life here
yeah,
in Canada.
yeah,
No?
yeah.
Sa, hindi nyo na alam, kapitbahay po si Kuya Mikmik tsaka si May.
We didn't know. We
Hindi
didn't.
hindi pa gumagapang yung baby. Nakita na.
Oo. Mm. So, ano ba yan?
Ayun.
Really, it was just so nice to think about how people started, and now
Yeah, it's always very nakakatuwa to see yun nga. Parang dati kwentuhan lang natin habang kumakain sa bahay yung school, yung
yeah,
pag-nurse.
yeah. But look
Tapos
at her
ngayon
now.
may another one on the way. So parang nakakatuwa.
Yeah.
Oh, nurse. Actually, just to inform everyone, May, you're a nurse na right now here.
Yeah, I'm an RN. So RPN, RN, and then I had to resign the RPN kasi mahal yung renewal fee every year. Hindi ko naman magamit yung
May point
RPN.
ba to having the two RN and RPN designation or di ba better pag RN na lang?
Yeah.
Maybe, but ako kasi nakuha ko kasing una yung RPN.
Kasi sabay mo palang inano, no?
Oh, as a backup, as a plan B.
Yeah.
Nakuha kong una yung RPN. And then dahil kilala na ako ng employer and hey, they're looking for an RN. So yun.
So,
And then at the end of the year, I had to resign the RPN kasi it
RN na.
just doesn't make sense kasi
Yep.
why would you, 'di ba? Mas in demand yung RN dahil mas konti siya and mas malaki yung sahod ng RN.
yeah, just to lang din, ano bang difference ng RPN sa RN para lang maano lang viewers natin?
So, RPN, actually ngayon medyo vague yung nila dahil palaki ng palaki yung scope of practice ng RPN pero yung pay hindi nagbabago. So yun yung inaano. So before they cannot administer blood products, they cannot do IVs. But ngayon ginagawa siya widely ng mga RPN pero walang increase sa pay. Ang RN, mostly, kung ikaw yung RN, most likely ikaw yung charge. Let's say, if you're working in the long-term care, RPN report to you.
To the RN.
The RPNs report to you. You're the nurse manager. You're the manager of the building. Anything that happens there, staffing issues, may namatay, may kailangan i-send sa hospital, may kailangan i-relay sa doctor, RNs lahat yung gagawa. Pwede naman siyang gawin ng RPN pero mas more on hands-on with the rest with the patients kasi yung it varies kung nasan kang setting. Kung nasa hospital setting ka, most likely parehas lang kayo ng ginagawa pero RN has more responsibility, has more leadership responsibility, possibly na siya yung team lead nung ward or siya yung charge nurse.
Yeah. Kasi sa Pilipinas, pag sinabing RN, yun nga. Tapos yung practical nursing, ito yung mga diploma, 2 years diploma na practical nursing.
Yeah.
So, I think, that explains. Pero kawawa naman yung practical nursing. Sa sahod, mas pagod sila.
Yeah.
Kasi physical, sa labor yung sa kanila mismo eh. Oo. Pero yun nga. Pero eventually, I mean, Canada will always address yung mga concern ng lalo ng mga health workers natin.
Lalo na ngayon,
I think,
nakita nyo.
with the pandemic, bro, they increased like $3 or $2 per hour.
Pandemic pay, yeah.
Oh, the pandemic pay for all the health-related professionals.
Saka Canada as a whole, I think 1 out of 3 health professional immigrant sa Canada.
Yes.
So, malaking
There's a lot of
impact.
immigrants.
Yeah.
Yes. And being an Ontario kasi maraming may mga incentives sila. Let's say ngayon kung employed ka, full-time employment ka, until March 31st, you're gonna get like a 2,500 incentive by April. And then kapag fully employed ka by September, you're gonna get the remaining 2,500. So sabi ni Ford, yun daw yung incentive nila to retain nurses in the healthcare.
Ano gawin din nila tong sa Pilipinas, no? Kasi there was a time na yung nursing talaga profession is really booming in the Philippines. I don't know. So right now, ang dami na kasing nag-change career from nurses. Ang dami naming aplikante na nursing graduate pero yung work nila is nasa BPO or nasa
Yeah,
ibang
so much different.
industry. Pero yun nga lang, we need a lot of nurses in the Philippines. Ano mo naman
Yeah.
with the pandemic right now, if the government can really do the same as well, alam mo yun, kung wala lang kurakot. kung aabot lang talaga. I mean, I know there are programs from our government. Sana nga lang yun nga, matupad nila yung pinangako nila sa mga health workers natin, especially nurses natin. Kasi nga, kung mga nurses na, alam mo, they're satisfied ba naman with the sweldo, hindi na sila aalis ng bansa natin. No?
Yes.
Kasi hindi naman nakakaano lang tignan na we serve people outside Philippines, no? And sayang yan kasi nga we are I think number one na tayo for mga nurses na pinapadala abroad.
Pag
Yes.
sinabing Pinoy, nurse talaga eh.
Yeah, at saka
Yes.
yung reputation ng Pinoy talaga, most of the employers love the Filipinos, especially mga health workers, PSW, caregivers, yun. And not some other profession din, like mga engineers, carpenters, lahat. They love how Filipino works. Kaya sabi nga nila, we always extend, kumbaga, kamay lang hinihingi nila, we give them our arms and shoulders. Diba? May TLC tayo eh. That's how Filipino work and that's how employers love Filipinos.
Yeah. Like a month ago, we received a message from our accountant in London who's asking for, he doesn't care first, like any background, as long as you're a Filipino, you're happy. He was asking like, your husband is a Filipina, right? Is she willing to work?
Yeah.
Madami. Kahit yung mga na-meet ko na, ano ba sila? Mga European, tapos yun nga, nakwento ko namin yung international students, ganyan, sabi, if you have somebody from the Philippines, let me know. So, nagkakaroon na ng preference actually sa mga Pinoy. Kasi, lagi kong sinasabi rin sa mga Pilipino dito, huwag kayong mag-alala sa paghahanap ng work, maganda yung reputation ng Pilipino.
Yes.
Right.
Totoo naman talaga, hindi mahirap maghanap ng work kung maghahanap ka rin.
Exactly.
No, kasi
Yeah.
alam people na ay takot akong wala po ako nahanap na work, nag-apply ka ba? 'Di ba? So, sabi always say this, mas maraming work dito sa Canada kaysa tao. That's why people here has like 2 to 3 jobs. So,
Yes.
basta wag lang kayong mapili or maselan muna. We just need something to start with.
Kung vice president kayo dati, wag niyo ipilit na vice president din kayo dito.
Yun.
It doesn't matter if you're the
Yeah.
CEO before
Yeah.
or the manager. They don't know that. So, let your work speak for itself. Saka nila mapansin na, ang galing mo naman na. Ano ka ba sa inyo dati? Saka mo sabihin. Then,
And
then
that's how
actually hurts.
tailoring of CV will come in.
Isa pa.
Very,
Nako,
very
yes.
handy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Know when to brag and know when not to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
let the people witness your skills. Wag mong itaas mong sariling bangko mo na, uy, magaling ako. Tapos end up, hindi pala. Diba?
Dami ko na nakitang moments na, kunyari, nagtatrabaho sa, let's say, retail. Tapos na-impress yung worker. Oh, you're really great. What did you do before? Tapos saka sasabihin. And then that's when you get the opportunity. So,
Yes.
so give them a taste of your work ethics first. And then, actually, yun yung magandang
That's the
simula.
best talaga approach. No? Start from the bottom, climbing up.
Yep. Or sometimes yung iba blessed naman na they get to do what they were doing before. So, may swerte din minsan. So,
yes, ayun. So, I guess we already, it's already 11 in the
baka
morning.
mapagod si Miss May.
Okay lang, kuya. It's very little compared to what I received from the group, from both of you. It's really really little, yung simpleng tanong mo dun yung simpleng sagot sa tanong mo nung aanga-anga pa lang ako. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine, like, when I go back to my previous post, like, oh, ano sa tingin mo kuya yung ganito ganito, or you're just asking like a general question in the group na yung pala nasagot na ng ilang beses, nandun na pala siya, nakapost na pala siya ng napaharaming beses, no? Hindi mo ginagamit yung search bar.
Search ba?
Yun na, naalala ko nga yung unang message. I mean, hindi man una, no, nag-message si May sa akin. Sabi ko, sinong mga students na kailangan ng from the airport going to London, to Fan Show, to Niagara. Naalala ko yun, nag-message ka. Sabi mo, Kuya, mayroon kaming Ford Edge.
Yeah.
Pwede ba ako mag-pick up ng student?
Wow, magiging BMW na yung Ford Edge pag si Habi na.
I mean, we always find ways how to help our kababayan din naman, di ba? And sabi nga, yung husband mo magdadrive. Ayun. So, yun, given, kakastart pa lang nila dito, just to let you know that they already wanted to help then our kababayan.
Yeah.
Yun
That's why
pala,
we're very happy for them.
Yun nga, look at where she is right now, di ba? She's living her dreams as a nurse. But like I said, this is just the beginning of, still the first chapter of your life.
Yeah.
Yun nga, a perfect example na hindi lahat instant.
Yes.
Pinaghirapan, kasi yung iba naiinggit ay, kaya ko rin yan. Then use it as a inspiration, motivation, not competition. Kasi yung iba, laging wants to compete.
No.
Pero dapat siguro you want to inspire na lang.
I mean, be inspired na lang din na kung nakayanan niya, mas makakayanan din yung ngayon. No?
Mas maganda yung inspired kasi yung motivation iba. You're happy for others and which is always good. Kaysa yung inggit ba?
Yeah. Saka sabi ko nga bro sa mga nakakausap ko, yung success kasi may iba-iba tayong definition of success. No?
Yes.
Yung iba makakain ng 3 beses ng araw is a success.
Yung iba magumaling sa sakit is a success.
O yung pamilya is a success, di ba? Or makabili ng bahay is a success. Yung iba naman makabili ng 5 bahay is a success. Having an office job is a success. So, wag natin ikumpara kasi nga although we are the same family of fruits, but fruits are different. Apples and oranges are different.
Yeah.
No,
I-share ko lang kuya yung yung what I always say, and yung pinost ko nung pinost ko yung timeline ko for sabi ko, I'm sharing this kasi I know a lot of fellow nurses na sobrang nag-struggle to get those titles after their names. If you think that it's already the dead end, pause, pray, and think again. There will always be another way. You wouldn't be here if you're not destined for something great.
Tama.
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason. Like I always said, God has a perfect plan for us. No, coming here in Canada is just one part of His plan, and knowing what His plan is, through prayers.
Saka you will be humbled talaga once you're here.
Yes.
Kahit na may driver ka pa nun, unless you're one of those extreme wealthy people, you will be humbled once you get here.
Yeah. Saka yung dito ko na talaga bro, na-appreciate yung DIY. Sa lahat ng bagay, you can do DIY.
Exactly.
Carpentry to
Palit doorbell, palit shower head.
Yes.
Lahat.
Diba? Sa atin kasi, ay tawagin mo si
Tawagin mo si Mang Jose. Yan.
Yung pumutok yung fuse ng uy, tawagin mo si sila may alam niyan. Dito, you need to learn those things.
Oy, pinturahan yung gate. Tawagan mo yung mga tambay sa kanto. Sila na mag-paint. Dito hindi.
Hindi ka marunong dito, it costs a lot.
Yeah, you have to be resourceful and know how to get the information, who to contact.
Yes, ayun pala, tama. Canada is not a spoon-feeding country. There's a level of expectation na pag nandito ka na, pag hindi mo alam, you find out yourself. Or you could ask, where can I know this information?
Yeah.
Parang hanggang doon lang eh. Yung mga Canadians, pag tinanong mo, how do I register here? Ang sagot sa'yo, go to this website, everything's there. Pero kung humingi ka ng step-by-step breakdown, baka hindi ka na nila kausapin after.
Yeah. Tsaka maganda naman dito is lahat pantay. Sabi mo nga, kahit na brown ka, itim, white, mayaman
Mayaman,
ka, mahirap,
mahirap.
same sex kayo, or na part ka ng
Pila kayo.
pantay lahat, no. Walang lamang, no. Walang under the table.
Pipila lahat unless ano ba 'yon? Ano yung mga exemptions? May bata, handicap, mga ganun. Pero other than that, pipila lahat.
Lahat. Pila. Kung ano yung room mo, halimbawa sa ospital, yun din ang room ng kung
Yeah.
CEO ka pa or whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yun. So once again, Miss May, thank you very much for this time. I hope this will not be the last. Alam mo yun, kasi a lot of people will really wanted to learn more about NNAS.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do this one session after 2 to 3 months again, just to be refreshed lang din.
Or remind people, yes.
Yes. I hope na pagbibigyan mo rin kami. Pag
Oh,
hindi
no problem, Kuya. Anytime, dahil naka-mat leave na ako, I have more time.
Ayun,
Yeah,
nakamat
I have
leave
more
na.
time this year, hopefully.
Nga pala yung mat leave, can you share to them ano ba yung benefits ng mat leave? Maternity leave dito sa Canada.
So, as long as you have worked, you have insurable hours of 600 hours na work, you can apply for maternity leave. And that means you're gonna get 15 weeks of maternity leave plus 35 weeks of parental leave kung hindi ka nag-share with another parent. So that's a total of, ilan na bang nasabi ko?
So 1 year
plus
and
31.
Almost 50 weeks or almost
15 months halos. Tama ba?
Yeah. That's for standard. Kapag extended yung gusto mo. So for standard, you're gonna get 55% of your salary.
Yep.
Most likely.
Yung cap,
55%.
magkano ba ang cap ng mat leave ngayon?
Ang cap ng mat leave ngayon is
2.5 ba?
600
Per
I think
week.
638 per week. I
So
think.
mga 2.5 nga
638.
ang cap niya.
Mhm.
So sa Philippines may mat leave ba?
Meron bro, pero
Meron.
hindi siya paid Kumbaga
Yeah.
certain part lang talaga.
So yun dito po again sa Canada, paid ang mat leave to a maximum of 2,500 per month. Rough estimate, but
Enough
Or-
to pay for your rent and for your
Yes,
utilities.
yes.
Na hindi ka mag-worry.
yes.
At saka the employee cannot kick you out sa sa work mo because
Oh
of
yeah.
pregnancy.
May companies actually, Kuya Nikki, may top up eh. They cover the remaining 45% or up to 98% of your actual salary.
Yeah.
Pag,
Andun ako nakapasok ako sa isang company because may nag-mat leave yung pinasuhan yung pinalitan ko.
Mhm.
Kaya lang the end up yung nag-mat leave after 1 year hindi decided not to go back.
Come back. Mhm.
So yun na-convert ako to full-time permanent.
maraming opportunities na ganun. So win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarap naman mat leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, more camping and voting.
So right now you are still in Kitchener pa rin?
Yes.
Same place, same
Same place.
Pero pupunta na daw sila dito, Kuya Nikki eh. Nung huli kami nakita,
daya naman. Iwanan mo na
parang
kami
dito daw ang
Uy, may
direksyon.
murang flights ngayon.
Oo.
Maraming murang flights.
Basta wag ka na pumuntang Wonderland muna ha.
Ayo.
Hindi, dahil alam ko na magkakaroon pa ako ng another baby, December pa lang, bumili na ako ng gold, ng season pass.
Hindi kasi at sakto din dumating na yung son mo.
Yeah.
Saka yung baby mo din right now.
Shihab.
Si Shihab, yan.
She
Diba?
have, and the next one will be Selena.
Wow.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Celine. Uy, nakakumpleto ka na.
yeah.
Meron ka na.
Kompleto na. Kota
Buti
na.
ka pa.
Kota na. The next is pahinga muna.
Oo. Diba?
Under negotiation pa eh. Parang hindi ako
Ay,
mananalo.
naisip ko lang, are you still getting the CCB, the childcare benefit din?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yun.
And nung na-add yung anak ko from Philippines, tumaas siya. Nagkaroon ako ng lump sum na,
Yan.
na parang na-retro yung lahat
Yeah,
ng,
yeah.
ano ba to? Yung
In 19...
from Ontario, yung benefit from Ontario,
Yes.
tsaka yung CCB, na-retro siya lahat. So, sabi ko, pangbayad na ng bahay.
Wow.
Kaya kami
Yun,
nakabili ng
yung
kotse yata nun eh.
childcare benefit na isang din ng government that they will give at least around $300 to $500 per child per month, depende sa income ng
Household.
yung household income. So yun is aside from libre ang education,
Yes.
and wala kang babayaran, yun lang, ang laking tipid na. At the same time, you have
Oh, yeah.
quality education, at saka siyempre may support sa government, no?
On the 19th month, tama ba?
Yes, after eligible yung mga students on the 19th month nila, they can apply for it. Hindi siya automatic, you need to apply for it po. If you have kids, no. Ayun. So, ang dami natin na pag-usapan.
So, nakakamiss si Miss May eh.
Yes.
Na-miss ko kayong lahat, kuya. Si ate.
Ayun. Ako, namimiss ko yung aquarium mo.
Baby Miko.
Kumusta yung aquarium mo pala? Yung mga fish mo?
Yung African cichlids namin namatay. So, ano na siya, mga oranda na yung para medyo, matapang. So, yung lahat ng tanks dito, 1, 2, 3, 4, lahat
Four
oranda.
na?
4. So, isang
Parang dati, hindi
60,
naman
70
4.
gallon, dalawang 20, isang 10. Ayan, mga oranda na sila. Tapos may isang fishbowl na nasa mesa na laging pinupuntahan ni Shihab. At lahat ng toys niya nilalagay niya sa fishbowl.
Kasi nakakatanggal.
Naka-relax eh.
Yeah.
Naka-relax sila panoodin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ayun na. It's already, 11. I know, may mga, din kami ni Kuya Mikmik eh.
Yeah.
Mga
Sige.
one-on-ones. So, yun, Miss May, can you still invite or few words para sa mga viewers natin, especially mga nurses?
Yeah. So, for all nurses and Pinoy international students na may nursing background, kung sa tingin nyo is parang, ang tagal na ang tagal ko na bago ako mag-aaral ulit, or parang kinakalawang na ako, or parang ano ba to, lagi na lang dead end after dead end, akala ko ganito, akala ko paggagastos ko ng ganito na lang, pero hindi pa rin. Again, as I said, pause, think again, and pray. Dahil nandito ka na, or ni-start mo na yung goal mo to come here to Canada, I am telling you, it's gonna be worth it.
Yes.
You just have to look for the right people. Kaya kasi if you surround yourself with good people na mag-encourage sa'yo, medyo mababawasan yung depression mo, yung stress mo. Kailangan mo ng psychological support, para malampasan yung lahat. And if you have partner, always, open communication with each other kasi kayong dalawa yung papasan ng lahat. All the way.
You and me against the world.
Yes.
Good. So
Yeah.
again, Ms. May, thank you very much. Regards kay Habi mo at kay Shihab at saka kay Sis.
Thank you.
Ano pala name ng anak mong 9 years old?
You can call him Titots.
Okay.
That's his nickname. Yes. Yes.
Regards sa kanya, I
Or
hope
Princeton.
everything will be okay and safe with you, and lalo na may upcoming baby ka. Stay safe all the time, and you know where to reach us out if you need
Where to find us.
I'd like to apologize for all the international students na sometimes, or mga nurses na minsan nagme-message sa akin at hindi ko nare-replyan mahirap kapag tinatago ni Shihab yung phone mo na minsan nasa likod ng sofa, nasa likod ng aquarium. Yeah, but I still have those resources, like PDF reviewers and that. And if you need to chat or to about your processes, you can always talk and talk to Sun-Cor. They can always help you, or direct you to the right people. And as I said, Kuya, anytime, just message me whenever it is, hopefully, as long as merong time to I can always discuss and share something that I think will be helpful to.
Okay. Thank you
Ayan.
very much. Again, thank you everyone for watching. Miss May, we will let you go kasi we will continue. Mag-ano lang kami ni Kuya Mikmik. And once again, thank you very much. Regards to the family. Take care.
Regards kay
Stay safe.
husband.
We'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Thank you. See you soon, Kuya.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Ayan.
Ayan.
So yun, another successful live shared.
Oh, dami ko natutunan dun sa nurse. Kasi yung reputation talaga ng Pinoy as nurse,
Yes.
it's growing globally.
Yes. Ano mo tayo bro? Shout out tayo sa mga lahat ng na-approve na
Yes, shoutout sa lahat ng mga na-approve. PR, student, tourist.
Actually, tinignan ko yung sa study permit natin na group. Ang daming nag-share ng ano.
Dahil lumalabas, umuulan din ng approval. Congratulations to our clients and to our DIYers, of course. Yung mga ikakasal, mga estudyante na yung iba kasi Kuya Nikki parang nagkakilala lang sa school tapos sila rin yung nagkatuluyan eh. So,
Yes.
nangyayari po yon, nagkakaroon ng love life ang student pag dumating single. As long as single po kayo, wag po kayong mag-pursue ng love life kung kayo ay taken na. Kasi, yes, wag po.
Ano na rin, ito na rin ano namin ni Kuya Mikpik na support our ano din, yung mga TikToks namin. We're planning
Oo nga pala, yes.
TikToks regarding informative TikToks lang din. Pero hindi po kami sasayaw, hindi po kami
Oh, yun, yes. Hindi pa kami sasayaw, hindi kami magbibikini.
or informative TikToks na gagawin namin.
Yes. We're doing this because there's so many requests na, Kuya, baka pwede kayong gumawa ng mga short videos. So, we're doing this for you, guys. So, sana po supportahan nyo kami para alam namin kung itutuloy pa namin o hindi.
Ayan. And also, if you are interested with study visa, all types of visas, share ko lang. This is our services pala. We have the LOA assistance for free. We have the settlement package, study permit, open work permit, postgrad work permit, LMIA, visitor visa, super visa, visa and permit extensions, express entry profile creation, provincial nominee programs, Canadian experience class, federal skilled workers, federal skilled trade workers, startup investor program, family sponsorship, at saka yung caregivers as well. No, lalo na yung mga ano din natin, kababayan natin na ma-out of status na. Si Kuya Mikmik is our resident licensed immigration consultant for Sun-Cor. And he will be happy to help you out. Meron po siyang consultation fee, but for sure, much better na kasi mas safe kayo rather than kumuha kayo ng information from someone that, hindi lisensyado.
Ang dami na kasi lumapit, Kuya Nikki, na Kuya, na-deny ako kasi dun sa group chat namin, ito yung sabi, paano ba mag-reapply? Or Kuya, na-deny ako, ito kasi napanood ko na video, paano ba mag-reapply? So, every time you get information, public information, always try to verify with official sources. Yung canada.ca, yung cic.gc.ca, or just read on immigration law if you have the time. Medyo makapal po yung nadebro, pero read it if you want to. Otherwise, we are here to help you out.
Yeah, once again, just email us at apply@sun-cor.com, or you can book a consultation. Just go to our website, sun-cor.com. Book a consultation for free, 15-minute consultation with me. Once again, guys, the consultation is more on the school. Anything about immigration, I'm not authorized to discuss it. No.
Yeah, nakita niyo naman gaano ka-honest si Kuya Nikki. Yung iba, they'll try to...
Yes.
Iba-upgrade.
appear very knowledgeable with wrong advices.
Yeah. So
Naka,
there's a lot of changes going on. No, hindi ako updated. Si Kuya Mikmik ang updated. Para nga sabi ko, Kuya Mikmik, ako flight stewardess lang ako. Si Kuya Mikmik yung piloto. So kung magpapaturo kayo paano magpalipad, wag sa stewardess kasi I will teach you how to do the seatbelt. Yun lang yung kaya ko. Si Kuya Mikmik, alam niya kung paano niya ituturo yung paano. Step by step.
minsan Kuya Nikki, kamot ulo na lang ako doon sa mga nadidinig kong sabi daw ni ganito, sabi daw ni ganyan. Pero sabi ko, oh my God, this is so so
Tulad ng
damaging to
sinabi
the
ni kanina,
education.
bro, sabi sa isang agency, sabi niya, ganito lang kadali maging nurse dito sa
Oh
Canada.
yes, and now we have seen it's very very tedious, very hands-on and time-consuming and
Yes.
expensive. Kasi syempre, of course, it's expensive, but the rewards would be great after. It just involves a lot of hard work and patience.
Exactly po. Talagang ano po talaga, you need to have a game plan talaga. No? And as much as we want to become a nurse here, we just need to follow then kung ano talaga yung there's no shortcut in short. No?
Yes,
Oo.
walang shortcut.
Ayun. So, ano pa ba ang announcement natin? Kaya Mikmik na ano natin.
Yung ating uwi sa ano. So, yung TikTok, sana po masuportahan nyo kami ni Kuya Nikki. Para alam
Yes.
namin kung gagawin pa ba namin o hindi. Alam niyo naman, mahihain kami. So, syempre, nahiya kaming gumawa ng TikTok. Pero if you find value to it, please support us in TikTok. And also, please comment on TikTok what you want us to feature. Ano ba mga activities na estudyante gusto niyo makita? Yung
Yes.
bang habang nagwo-work sila o yung buhay sa dorm nila. On my end kasi I'll do a series of yung mga quick immigration tips on what we can compress in between 1 to 5 minutes. So,
Sa akin naman, yung mga TikToks ko is more on how we help our students get their UHIP card, how they get their car, how they get their phone sa bangko, lahat yung mga ano.
ang galing Kuya Nikki ng isa, same day approval sa
Yes,
kotse.
congratulations.
Wow, congrats.
Paulo. Ano lang yun, actually, parang ako yung guardian dun. Ako yung nag-explain na yun nga, mag-graduate pa lang siya ng
Isa sa pinakamahirap na ano natin yun visa application. Kaya tontuwa ako for him
Yeah. And it's his first car talaga from
wow.
first car na sarili niya. Sabi ko, this is
Special pala.
ano din, kumbaga investment sa sarili daw niya.
So may
once
susundo
again,
na pala
guys,
sa akin sa airport.
yun. Meron tayong please join the Kuyas in our Mindanao tour. So meron tayong Iligan City, Cagayan de Oro, Camiguin, and Davao. Please feel free to visit our Facebook page at saka yung sa Study Permit Canada DIY page, naka-pin post po to. There's a link over there na pwede kayong mag-register kasi limited seats lang po yun. At saka yung dates nandun na rin.
Yes.
This is for the Mindanao. Sa Visayas naman, we do have the Bohol and Cebu. So once again, this is also posted in our Facebook at saka sa Study Permit Canada DIY PH na group. Please feel free to register, no? Kasi nga limited seats lang po ito. The dates are also are there. The venues, we're just finalizing the venues. I'm sure, of course, nasa city proper lang yung venue para accessible sa lahat. And for
para
the
mahigit
I'm sorry, bro.
Ay, sorry. Sabihin ko lang sana para mahigit 100 na kada isang venue.
Actually, yun nga. Mahigit 100 na nga yung ano. Pero we still have slots for it. And also guys, sa Manila Manila naman na mga provinces, locations, we will post it very soon. We're just finalizing the venues and the dates talaga.
Inaantay lang po namin yung mga
Yes.
Ano ba yun? Proposals ng mga venues kung sino yung pipiliin natin.
So, if you are interested to apply here in Canada, please send us an email, apply@suncor.com. If you want to if you want to avail the paid consultation with Kuya Mikmik, just send an email to Sun-Cor. We'll be happy
Apply@sun-cor.com. So, ang gateway po sa akin ay si Kuya Nikki.
Yun. Ako po yung pinakamabilis na daan para kay Kuya Mikmik.
Yes. Ano na rin siguro, pasensya na rin po sa mga nagde-direct message kasi ako po, if you can imagine how many messages I get, the best po talaga yung dumaan
Yes.
sa Sun-Cor kasi there's a group of people that manages it. So maraming tao makakakita ng message ninyo, so mas mabilis matutugunan. If you go directly through me, tambak po talaga. Kahit nga mama ko may appointment na ako para makausap ko. So yun po. It's best to go through Sun-Cor.
Yes. So yun, yung mga nagme-message, pasensya na kayo, hindi namin nare-replyan. Siguro pasadahan na lang natin to sila, si Balot Seymour, yan, Gogang, may Zores, siguro kamag-anak to niya, si din, si Heidi Evangelista, yan.
Pwede po ba mag-aral ng practical nursing even yung background is hospital? Normally baliktad yung mga nurse minsan nauuwi sa nursing, sa hospitality, culinary. Kung baliktad, depende ano po ba yung goal ninyo. There might be other programs more suitable depende on your background kasi on the immigration point of view, it has to make sense kung yung aaralin nyo. Hindi po kasi ito yung random na pili lang kayo kasi trip ninyo. There has to be a solid plan.
Sa school din, kailangan mo ipakita na you have a background for it.
Yes, kasi ang school hindi rin naman basta-basta tatanggap. A school also has to maintain its standards.
Yes. Ito naman kay Hazel.
Lanimbreg.
Baliktad dati
Germinal.
Yun. O Lanimbreg. Yun. Good evening din. I have question. Validity of medical is 1 year for immigration purposes lang.
So yung medical conducted by an accredited panel physician of Canada, 12 months po yung validity. So if you are applying for a study permit, don't take it too early. If you are, para lang in case magde-defer kayo ng intake, buhay pa siya. For PR, ganun din naman po. Basta nag-medical, kung inland, walang issue.
Yes. Thank you. Ito naman kay Queenie Tirados so what about palliative? Ito ata yung tinatanong na yung time na ano yung mga program for NNAS. Yes po, yung palliative care po is pasok po siya. Ito naman kay Joy Valenzuela.
Uy, Mandaluyong.
From Mandaluyong City. Hello po.
Saan ba yung Mandaluyong? Ito yung, ang Mega Mall yata, Mandaluyong ba, Kuya Nikki?
I'm not sure bro, saan.
Parang nandun na yun sa area yun
Tawag yung joke lang dun yung looban tsaka labasan Ayun. Ito naman from our YouTube channel. Hello mga Kuyas and Ate May. I'm not a nurse. An ibang program ang gusto ko i-pursue but thank you for this encouraging live stream. Mabuhay kayo. Hopefully makita ko kayo soon. God bless you all. Yun.
Ayaw pa, madali naman po kami mahatak lalo na kung may sisig. So.
Tapos sabi, ito pa, may follow. A member po ako sa group ng Facebook. For questions to come, thank you. More questions to come. Yun. Ayan, tapos.
Ayan.
Ito din, kay Queenie De Castro, thank you very much. Pogi Kuyas.
Pogi yata yun. Unless puga. Pogi yata.
Sobrang helpful po kagaya namin nag-start na po na processing, watching from Abu Dhabi, UAE. Yun, sige, sa lahat ng mga taga UAE.
Ayan, shoutout. Yung mga recent approvals natin, Kuya Nikki, from UAE.
Wag po tayong maniwala dun sa, alam mo yun, yung UAE, tapos ipapalabas na sa Pilipinas yung application.
Basta dun tayo sa totoo.
Yes
yun
po.
Na lang. That's the best way to say it.
Ayun. And I think ayan, yes po, we'll book your 15 minutes. Yun, thank you. And then, si Pretzel Alava. Hello po, good evening.
Sa pangalan.
Yan, watching from my hometown.
Uy, kabayan.
So, sa mga tagailigan dira, shout out sa tanan. Mauli mi sa Iligan this July. Please registered kasi we'll be happy to help mga Iliganon to come here in Canada. Actually, sobrang dami na bro. We just have an approval, another Iliganon yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And
Special
we're hoping
approval.
to get more, no? Yes. Pretzel, yun nga, wait, we'll be there in July sa Iligan.
Parang Kuya Nicky, nililipat natin yung buong village nyo dito sa Canada.
Ang dami po talaga Iligan na nandito na. Will be, like I said, this is my hometown. I really love to help our people from my hometown din na makapunta dito kasi marami talagang interested nga pumunta dito. Actually, marami din akong kilala na punta dito. Kaya lang, medyo they have a bad experience with their agency. First is hindi nga sila pagdating dito wala nang pakialam yung agency nila, no, and that's very sad to hear talaga kasi nga the real journey starts once you arrive here in Canada, no? Doon pa lang mag-uumpisa yung totoong challenge natin sa buhay, Canada. Hindi
Yes.
po yung pagpapa-approve. Kaya nga yun lang, as simple as paghanap ng bahay, pagsundo sa airport, paghanap ng trabaho, yun po struggle lang po na sa ibang tao, but for Sun-Cor, we're here to help and guide you po.
Tsaka real talk na din, may mga umuuwi after kasi hindi nila nagustuhan ang
Yes
Canada.
po. Hindi po na-assess or nabigyan ng plano na natulungan ng paano magiging permanent resident. So, once again, study visa does not guarantee permanent residency. No. If you don't have a game plan. Ito, last na to ano natin bro, si Kay Castillo. Good evening.
Ay, good evening po, madam.
So, once again, guys, if you're interested to come here, we're offering free LOA services. Wala pong bayad. And kung mayroon mang application fee, we can reimburse the application fee. And once your visa got approved, no? And for the IELTS naman, we will do our best to waive the IELTS. Most of our schools, through Sun-Cor, we can waive the IELTS.
Yes.
And we're partnered 90% of the colleges and universities here in Canada. No, just give us send us an email or just message us at our Facebook page. Then we'll be happy to help you out. May nag-message dito. Eto, sa partner niyo po ba ang Humber? Magkano pong service fee sa student visa? Yes, partner po namin yung Humber College. Once again, guys, yung
Doon ako graduate.
yes, yung processing fee namin sa student visa is 2,000 Canadian dollars.
It starts at $2,000, yes.
Yes po. That's payable in 2 terms po yun. Roughly na around 80,000 pesos po. No, that's the study visa. And each dependent will be 500 Canadian dollars po. Ayun po. Hindi po namin tinatago. Sinasabi na po namin sa inyo lahat. But like what always me and Kuya Mick do is we always encourage everyone to do DIY kasi mga po, kayang-kaya naman po talaga.
Yep.
Yun nga, yung mga taong hindi lang kaya talagang kaya mag-DIY or hindi sila confident or busy sila,
Yes.
that's the time that we can offer a service talaga.
And if you do get our service, kailangan makita nyo po kami.
Yes.
Kailangan makita nyo ako.
Yeah.
Kasi kung may nag-claim, tsaka si Kuya Nicky lang po ang aking official agent. Kung may nag-claim na iba, ingat po tayo.
Yes.
It could be a referral from your friend. Yes, it could happen. Pero at the end of the day, you have to see me. So, kailangan po makita nyo.
Dapat po talaga makikita niyo rin ako sa Kuya Mick
Yes.
na nakausap niyo. So, kami lang po ang may-ari ng agency na
nakikita nyo rin kami. Very hands-on. Very hands-on. Kumbaga.
Wala pong immigration agency sa Pilipinas na yung may-ari nagpapakita. Nakakausap mo directly.
I think pinapakita nila artista ko yun, Nicky.
Yun. At least kami, hands-on kami. Siyempre, yung mga boss, the real boss namin, nasa background namin.
Makikita nyo rin. Makikita nyo rin sila.
Yeah. Ito naman pwede po ba mamili kung saan pwede mag-aral? Like meron po akong kilala sa Winnipeg. Yes po, kung saan po kayo komportable.
Hindi pa kami namimilit ng school.
Yeah. So ang unang tinatanong ko talaga is saan ko po may kamag-anak, no? Pag sinabi niyo pong Winnipeg, and then doon tayo maghanap ng school. Let us help you narrow down your options. Ayun. Ito naman kay Chona Guevara Shrestha. Watching from Abu Dhabi. Saan nga po pala office niyo sa Canada? Tie-up din niyo ba kayo University of Saskatchewan? Yes po, nandito po kami sa Mississauga, Ontario. Yung office po namin. I'm physically here in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Si Kuya Mikmik naman po ay nasa Calgary,
Calgary.
Alberta. So our numbers are nasa website namin at saka nasa Facebook namin. You can call us directly just to prove na nandito kami. If you want, I can also show you the house, the Niagara Falls, para makita mo talaga nandito kami sa Canada. Ayun. And like I said, marami na po kaming clients from Abu Dhabi, UAE, sa Dubai, sa Qatar, Oman, yun, sa Saudi.
Saudi,
Yes.
Australia, New Zealand,
New Zealand,
Europe,
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yes. Dumating na actually sa Ukraine kaso syempre pahinga muna dahil wag muna natin kulitin dahil syempre iba yung sitwasyon niya eh. so yun. But once we get the chance, I'll try to I have to find out first if they're good with English and then we'll try.
Yes. Okay. Ito, I think this is the last question we will entertain. How much is the estimate need for a study visa with 2 dependents?
Depende po. Let's say it starts at 500, but it depends. Talk to us so we know because we don't want to discuss your information live
Yeah.
on air.
Yeah. So basically, sa immigration website, nakalagay lang doon na 1 year worth of tuition fee, tapos $10,000 for the living expense, and then 4,000 for the next dependent, and then 3,000 for the next
Per child, yes.
per child. So, yun lang po. Basically, if you need more information, mas maganda mag-usap tayo separately. No. Ayun. So, I think it's a wrap-up, Kuya Mikmik, for our Tuesday.
Yeah. Pakawalan na natin. Baka para di sila mapuyat. May ano pa bukas.
So, again, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for
Yes.
supporting your Kuyas this Tuesday morning. It's already noon time here. Hindi po kami magsasawa. We're doing this for you guys. Lalo na sa mga kababayan natin, no? That still hindi nawawalan ng pag-asang pumunta dito sa Canada. So we're here to help you, guide you at the same time. We want you to be part of the journeys of the Kuyas dito sa Canada.
Yes.
Ayun. So once again, thank you very much. My name is Kuya Nicky.
I'm Kuya Mikmik.
And till the next live session with the Kuyas. See you on Friday.
See you Friday. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.